Welcome to Camp Randall Stadium on the beautiful campus of the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Division 6 state championship game. They're getting ready for the national anthem as Iola Scandinavia Pep Band is playing. We'll step aside and let them play the national anthem.
All right, Steve, Jason Zaleski here, joining the broadcast, and I know Steve's got all kinds of useful stats and little nuggets, and as they say in the UP, true facts for us to go through here. One true fact I see right now, this may change, there could be some people in the concourse, and you're going to talk about school enrollment, but school enrollment down at Blackhawk, 99. That really shocked me to hear that number. I thought that was kind of low, but as we look across the stadium here, and it's a sun-drenched Camp Randall Stadium here at just about, well, it's 1:03 in the afternoon. Very limited crowd so far here for Racine Lutheran. We'll see if that changes as the game goes on. Again, they could be, maybe they were caught in traffic coming up from, maybe I-43 is what they took, or whatever the case may be. But initial observation, small crowd on that side, and a pretty good contingent here from the Iola Scandinavia area. The Thunderbirds come in at 13-0. Crusaders, who have, I would say, upset their way through the tournament to get to this point, come in at 11-2. And if it's anything like the first game, we're going to have a little bit of fun, and we're going to learn a lot about football through the broadcast. So, Steve, tell us what we're in for here in this Division 6 state final.
Well, absolutely. I mean, Iola Scandinavia coming in, like you said, 13-0 on the year, just ran their way right through the Central Wisconsin Large Conference, head coached by Scott Erickson. This is their fourth state championship game. They are 0-3 in state championship games. They lost last year to St. Mary's Springs. They are led offensively by Bryce Hittner, 263 yards, over 2,400 yards, and he is the all-time leading rusher in the state of Wisconsin in high school football. And the Racine Lutheran Crusaders coming in 11-2 overall, 5-2 in the Metro Classic, but we'll get to that in just a second on why they were 5-2 in the Metro Classic. They are in their first ever state championship game, averaging 37 points a game. They are led by Tyler Tenner, who has over 2,100 yards. He is on pace to break Bryce Hittner's record next year if he can stay healthy and they make a deep run into the playoffs again. But just going through that Metro Classic Conference, Racine St. Catharines, they play later on today in the Division 4 state championship against St. Croix Central. They won that Metro Classic. Martin Luther 6-1, and then Racine Lutheran at 5-2. So Martin Luther and Racine St. Cats, two of the top teams in the states in their respective divisions as well. But Racine Lutheran in all purple, yellow numerals, white outlines, and purple helmets. Iola Scandinavia in their home white uniforms, black pants, white socks, orange helmets, black numerals, and orange outlines on their uniforms. The Crusaders are head coached by Scott Smith, so it should be one heck of a game. Don't want to say it was an upset in game one, but it kind of was. Blackhawk was, not a lot of people had Blackhawk winning that game, but they took it to the Edgar Wildcats 22-15. We'll see what Racine Lutheran can do. You always have those jitters. It's state football. It's a championship game. And even more so, it's the first ever trip for Racine Lutheran here to Madison for the state football championship. On the other hand, for Iola Scandinavia, making their second straight state football state championship game appearance.
Yeah, that can be a lot of pressure on a 16, 17, 18-year-old human being, and there's a lot on the line here. We talked about this in the first game. As a senior athlete, it's no matter what, it's your last football game as a high school student athlete in the game of football, so you want to leave with the best taste in your mouth. You want to leave on a high note and all that thing. I mean, both teams are walking away with a big trophy, but you want the gold ball. You want to be the state champion. And as I took a look through the Crusaders roster here, a couple things stood out to me, and it was size. And we'll see who they, as our first look here at Lutheran at the Crusaders this year, so I don't know their starters. But as I take a look through here, seeing some of the weights of these guys, 235, 220, got another 240, 225, 250, and how about this? Alex Schultz, captain, he's going to start. He's a senior, 6'3", 300 pounds. And we'll probably call the name of Alex Schultz a lot today. He wears number 75 in yellow and purple down in the field. Iola Scandinavia, their white tops and black pants. At 300 pounds, that's a big force boy to be reckoned with on the football field.
Absolutely. As Racine Lutheran won the toss, they had elected to defer. They will kick off from north to south as we look at Camp Randall Stadium, high above the field here at Camp Randall. Going from north to south, the sun has engulfed this beautiful, beautiful college stadium. Just the south end zone bleachers and a little bit of the home side bleachers are in the shadows, but other than that, beautiful day.
Yeah, so we are going to take just a quick time out. Folks that are listening, we're going to refresh our stream. So give us about 30 seconds. We're going to hit refresh on our end, hit refresh on yours, and we'll be back live in just. Okay, we're back.
We're back to Camp Randall Stadium. An opening kickoff by Alex Sharp has it inside Racine Lutheran territory at the 41-yard line. What a surprise. 41-yard line.
For those of you listening during the Edgar game, we had a lot of spots at the 41-yard line.
Bryce Hittner will take the toss on the near side. He's going to get ankle tackled out of bounds, but the clock will remain running at around the 35-yard line. A gain of 6 for the all-time leading rusher in the state of Wisconsin, Bryce Hittner.
Steve, as you know, I don't predict high school sporting event outcomes. I will give some advice. I'll give things to watch and other insights that I have. And how about this for a prediction? Bryce Hittner is going to run the ball a lot today.
Yeah. 263 rushes on the year. Talking to some guys from Iola, and they said that he is more fresh this year than he has ever been. Last year they worked him a lot. Back to pass. Connor Kirky into the end zone, and it's going to be over the head of Will Cady.
Boy, had him open right away. It was it was one move put in. It was a hitch out there by Cady. The defensive back bid on it. He was wide open, headed down the far side of the field, back to the corner of the end zone. A throw just a little bit too long and a little bit out of bounds. So otherwise, we would have had 6 on the board here early on for the T-Birds.
It's 3rd and 5 with 11:08 to go in the opening quarter. Connor Kirky, shotgun formation with the split backs, one to his left, one to his right. 2 receivers, Alex Sharp in motion. He's going to give it to Bryce Hittner on the near side. He's got room to the 30, up to the 25. Plow through the Racine Lutheran defender to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds.
Finally pushed out of bounds by number 4, Nolan Kraus. Nolan's a 5'10", 150-pound sophomore. It's a pretty good mix here of kids on the team here. I would say probably fewer seniors, though, on the starting field for the Crusaders than the Thunderbirds.
Bryce Hittner split out to the far side, and he's going to fall past the 20. Had an offensive lineman out there on the line of scrimmage to block for him, but good defensive effort there by the Crusaders.
Yeah, unique offensive formation put on by Coach Erickson. Erickson in his, how about this, 26th year. That's quite a thing. He might have been coaching before you were born, Steve.
Yep.
Yeah. Doing it a long time. He knows more about. He's forgotten more about football than I know.
Yeah. And that's going to be a fumble. Connor Kirky falls on top of it, and we saw fumble after fumble after fumble that first game.
Yeah.
Maybe a little jitters, just mishandling of the football.
Yeah, I guess it certainly has nothing to do with the weather.
Yeah.
It's a big stage out here at Camp Randall. Camp Randall seats 80, 90, 100,000 people, and not quite that in attendance today, but still a lot of pressure out here for these guys. There were 9 times the ball was on the ground in the D7 final, and we've had it once on the ground here so far.
Shotgun formation. That one's going to be pitched out to Bryce Hittner. He's going to stay in bounds. He's going to fall forward. It's going to be a 4th and maybe a yard. Bryce Hittner getting the ball on rushes and on passes. And it's going to be 4th and a yard for the Thunderbirds. They're going to go for it at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, driven down by James Wilson of the Crusaders. I'll come back to that play in just a second as they're doing hurry up here.
Under center, up the middle to Hittner. He's going to fall forward inside the 10 to the 6.
That last play, Kellen Wanke, captain and offensive lineman here for the T-Birds, really led the way, sealed the edge out here on the near side, on the outside where Hittner was running, and really made that whole play possible there just 2 plays ago.
Going to be back to shotgun formation for Connor Kirky. Hittner to his left. 1st and goal. He's going to keep it up the middle, and he's going to break a tackle inside the 5 to the 1. And it's going to be 2nd and goal at the 1-yard line for the Thunderbirds.
Good balance shown there by Kirky as he was hit once and then hit twice, kept on his feet, and the T-Birds hurry back to the line.
Under center again goes Connor Kirky. He's going to give it up to Hittner on the left side. He's going to get in for the touchdown. Iola Scandinavia with 8:50 to go in the first quarter. It is 6-0 Thunderbirds.
Well, and just like that, the T-Birds fly right down the field, and no problem there. Crusaders at this point, anyway, not able to put up any defense as the 40-ish yard drive completed and capped off with a 2-yard, 3-yard touchdown plunge there by Bryce Hittner, and the T-Birds keep their offense on the field, and another unique formation here in this 2-point conversion.
Yeah, three linemen on the near side, one Alex Sharp, and in motion goes Carter Kirky. He's going to give it up the middle and pitch it out wide open. Carter Kirky, 2-point conversion is good for Iola Scandinavian with 8:50 to go, 8-0 Thunderbirds.
Yeah, what a play call there. Again, Coach Erickson is dazzling us here at Camp Randall, and I mean those were some fascinating, well-executed, well-thought-out plays. And this Crusader defense completely off balance right now. They had no idea that this was happening, at least by the looks of it. Or it could be, and we'll find this out, we're early. We're only 3 minutes, 10 seconds off the clock. It could be Crusaders just outmatched. And we'll find that out through the course of this game. But as of now, Crusaders don't appear as though that they were ready for this T-Bird attack and this fast-paced offense. Anybody that's seen the T-Birds play over the course of the last number of years have been accustomed to this kind of hurry-up offense, get up to the line, run another play. We're going to pass it over here. We're going to run it here. We're going to throw one deep over here. It's a wide-open offense. And as we look at Coach Smith on the other side of the field here for Racine Lutheran in his 20th year, he surely did do some scouting, but first volley over by the T-Birds, and Coach Erickson in the lead right now.
8-0 Iola Scandinavia to kick off from right to left. It's going to be a squibber. No one gets it. It's going to be taken at the 32-yard line up the middle and going to be ripped down.
Yeah, that was Josh Hess, senior, 6'3", 195, wide receiver, D-back. Hess, who alertly came up and scooped that ball up and moved it on ahead, and we're going to have a 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. It is some kind of a situation out here. Geez. Camp Randall is dictating where the ball is being placed and when the ball is being placed on the ground today.
Quarterback Colton Krause will be in for the Crusaders. Running back Tyler Tenner, number 5, will be watching for him all day long as well. Pistol formation, hard count there for Krause. And he's going to give it to Tenner near side. Bounces out to the outside. He's going to run out of bounds at the 46-yard line. A nice gain of 5 to begin things for the Crusaders.
Well, first look here in person at Tyler Tenner. Of course, we've heard a lot about Tyler coming into this game. But first look at him. He's got wheels. He's fast. He sprinted to the outside, and he won the race to the outside. He was pushed out of bounds, and by the time the T-Birds had realized what was going on, they were able to get enough defenders over there to corral him. But he earned all 6 of those yards on his own.
8:39 to go, opening quarter, 8-0 Iola Scandinavia. Pistol formation again is Kraus. He's going to give it up to Tenner. He bounces out to the near side, falls to the 50-yard line, and it's going to be 3rd and 1 after another nice gain of 4 yards for the Crusaders.
T-Bird captain Alex Sharp came up on the hit. He comes in at 185, 6'3" senior. So T-Bird's got size too.
Yep.
As we take a look around here, and as we go back here to my pregame lookout for number 75, Alex Schultz. We'll keep an eye out for him on the field here today.
Yeah, he plays left guard.
Yeah,
no, left
see him
tackle.
now. He's right on the Wisconsin W, right on the 50-yard line.
Yeah, left tackle for the Crusaders. Pistol formation again. High snap. Gives it up to Tenner. He's going to fall forward there. Give him to the 48-yard line. That will be a first down for Racine Lutheran.
Yeah, Sharp and Hittner in on the tackle for the T-Birds, as those two go both ways. You get a lot of that, especially in these D7, D6, even D5 games. It's not until you reach Division 4 and Division 3 do you start seeing more specialization with the roster size increasing as you go up in those divisions, and you start to see players just suited up as one spot. But in this game, just like in Division 7, most of these guys go both ways the whole game.
Shotgun formation for Kraus again. Tenner in motion near side. He's going to go to the outside. They're going to pitch it. Going to be taken at the 48 to the 45. And that is
pushed out of bounds by Bonikowski. Make sure I get that name right there. Bonikowski pushed him out, but again, just as we'd seen before, although he must have stepped out before I thought he did. I thought he had a little bit bigger gain. They're going to mark him at about 3.5 yards gain, but he has got speed on the outside there.
Yeah, Jalen Houston, the runner on that one. Yeah, that's what we've seen so far from the couple outside runs from this Crusaders team. Very, very fast. Pistol formation again. And going to pitch it out. Tenner with it. Iola Scandinavia had it read perfectly. He's got it to the 45. Runs over a defender. He was out of bounds. They push him even further. And it's going to be another gain of a couple. But it's going to be 3rd and long for the Crusaders.
Carter Snyder for the T-Birds. He's a 6'2", 225-pound senior. Really had the first chance to kind of line him up in his sights and instead dove at his feet. And I think that allowed the running back there to get an extra yard and a half as a result of that misplay there, perhaps.
3rd and 4. 7:18 to go at the 42-yard line of Iola Scandinavia. They're going to give it to Tenner again. Iola had it read perfectly. Tenner's going to get stood up and dropped at the 44. A loss of 2, and it's going to be 4th and 6.
And that was all Bryce Hittner coming in there. He filled that hole from his linebacker spot, met Tenner at the point of attack, and dropped him. And like you said, Steve, 4th down upcoming. See now, as we take a look on the field, it looks like Crusaders going to keep their offense on the field. And could be well, it's going to be something to watch here for sure. But after the Crusaders saw the T-Birds march right down the field, they may have decided we just need to keep going in order to keep up with these guys. So 4th down, they're going for it.
Racine Lutheran, not a passing team, just 720 yards on the year, but they're going to roll out to the left, look for a receiver, has him open over the top, overthrown, and it's going to be 1st down. Iola Scandinavia at the 44-yard line. On their own 44-yard line.
Yeah, he had a step on Sharp there and a ball that was a little bit better placed. They would have been able to connect for the 1st down, but as it is, Sharp on coverage. They also had one underneath. I didn't get the number of who that was, but they had another T-Bird was in coverage underneath, and Racine, Colton Kraus had to make a really good throw. He probably had to make as we're sitting here in front of Alex Hornibrook territory and other Badger quarterbacks before him, he had to make a D1 college-level throw probably to place that, and it wasn't able to make that connection.
6:28 to go in the opening quarter. Iola Scandinavia 8, Racine Lutheran nothing. That first drive for Iola Scandinavia, 9 plays, 41 yards, in just 3 minutes and 10 seconds to take that early lead. We talked a little bit about Racine Lutheran's schedule. Let's look at Iola Scandinavia's schedule. First 2 games shutouts against Montello, Princeton, Green Lake, 32-0. They shut out Marathon. They went on to beat Wyoming Fremont 55-9, Wittenberg, Burnhamwood 49-6, at Bonduel 47-12, home against Manawa 49-15. They shut out Pacelli. They went up to Shiocton, beat Shiocton 41-6. Conference championship game went over to Amherst and beat the Falcons 31-15, and then just rolled through the playoffs 54-14 over Three Lakes Phelps. Beat up on Coleman 42-6. A little tougher game against Abbotsford, 41-28, and then last week they were able to hold on to beat Grantsburg 27-25. Grantsburg had an opportunity at the end of that game to tie it up, but Iola's defense stood strong when Grantsburg tried for that 2-point conversion at the end.
Yeah, Steve, you mentioned that Abbotsford game. I happened to be at that game and had the pleasure and fortunate circumstance to be able to call that game. And even though it was a little closer on the scoreboard, Iola Scandinavia, though, still really controlled the pace of that game. It was tied early on, somewhere around 20-20 or something like that. But it was a game, when you watched it, you never thought the T-Birds were going to fail in that game, and they didn't.
Under center is Connor Kirky again, split backs behind him. Going to flip it out to Bryce Hittner, far side, has his blocking up to the 45, to the 50. Going to get stonewalled out of bounds to the 48-yard line. It's going to be second down for Iola Scandinavia.
Yeah, nice job there by Hittner at the end. He had a couple choices to make. He could have kept running outside. He could have cut it back in. He chose to cut it back in and chose well. As I take a look at, again, Josh Hess for the Crusaders getting his name called again on the tackle, which is probably not what Coach Smith wants to have happen there, is his D-backs making tackles. Yep. He'd rather have his D-line and linebackers, but Hittner able to get to the edge and turn it upfield.
Racine Lutheran giving up 17.5 points a game. Near side, going to get stopped immediately. That's Carter Kirky at the 50, a loss of 2. It's going to be 3rd and 4 for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, the 5'10", 215-pound Tim Nelson for the Crusaders plays defensive line and linebacker. He came out of his linebacker stance that time, came in and made the stop. So just what I was talking about a moment ago. Coach Smith really needs his linebackers to come up and make those hits, and Mr. Nelson came up and did the job that time.
Near side is Alex Sharp as the wide receiver. Will Cady plays the tight end position. Connor Kirky, the running back to the right. Bryce Hittner behind Carter Kirky. He's going to keep it and flip it out to Alex Sharp. Has room to the 50. Outside to the 45. Stiff arm and taken out of bounds at the 41st down. Iola Scandinavia, another perfectly read option.
So 2 things again there, Steve. One, Hess makes a tackle.
Yeah.
So you got another. You got the D-back again making tackles. Linebackers for the Crusaders not able to flow to the ball and meet the ball carrier. In this case, was Sharp at the point of attack, and that was the exact play they ran for the 2-point conversion and did it again for 10 yards there.
Sped the offense up a little bit. Bryce Hittner falls to past the 40 or inside the 40 to the 39, and a gain of a couple for Bryce.
Yeah, just methodically again, moving the ball back down the field, and missed it a moment ago, last play, but it was 1st and 10 from the 41, just if you keep track at home. It's just a unique thing here that we've noticed today. A statistical anomaly that nobody cares about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2nd and 8 from the 39, and it's going to be a pass to the near side to the 40 to 35, 30, and taken down at the 25-yard line. That's Carter Kirky with the reception and the run.
Yeah, nice play design there. Again, Colton Kraus with the tackle, another defensive back with the tackle for the Crusaders. That play could have went longer. Alex Sharp was out there, could have blocked Kraus, and instead, I don't know that Alex knew the play was coming his way and limited a little bit. That play could have gone the distance had Sharp laid a block out there.
1st and 10 from the 24-yard line for the Thunderbirds. And he's going to keep it again as Connor Kirky, and is going to get wrapped up that time nicely by the Crusaders.
Yep, Elijah Solis, 6'1", 205-pound senior out there. So Elijah with the tackle, call his name for the first time today. And gain of, though, still 2 on the play for the T-Birds.
Yeah, as big as this Racine Lutheran's team is, they only have 6 seniors on this team.
Yeah, young team for sure.
Yep. And a little counter-action play. Bryce Hittner is going to be taken down, pass inside the 20. Had opportunity, did Nolan Kraus, but went right past him. And gain of a couple more. It's going to be 3rd and 3 with 3:50 to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, that counter there was run very nice. Those of you that have been watching football for a while, you may know about a team called the Dallas Cowboys. And during their big run in the 90s, when Emmett Smith was racking up all those yards, it was counter left, counter right, and they did all that damage that way. And that counter play reminded me of the 90s Cowboys right there.
Pistol formation again for Connor Kirky. Behind him, Bryce Hittner. He pitches it to Hittner. They had it read perfectly. He's going to cut back to the inside. Plow his way to the 15. It's going to be 4th down and 2 for Iola Scandinavia. But again, at around the 15-yard line, 4-down territory, up 8-0.
Yeah, Colton Kraus made that play happen in the backfield, but 4th down, they go right away.
And they're going to give it to Hittner on the right side. He's going to fall forward inside the 15, stay up to the 12-yard line, and it's going to be 1st down for Scandinavia.
Real good balance there by Hittner. Any other running back probably would have not got the 1st down there as he was tripped up by his own offensive lineman, kept on his feet, kept his momentum going forward, and then fell forward for the 1st down, and that is that's a sign of a real running back right there.
Under 3 minutes to go here in the opening quarter, 8-0 Iola Scandinavia. Pistol formation again, Hittner behind Kirky. And another option play. Hittner up the middle, gets flipped around and going to be inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. A gain of 4, and it's going to be 2nd and 6.
So on the one hand for Coach Smith from Racine Lutheran, Colton Kraus racking up tackles. On the other hand, though, these tackles are coming 5 to 8 yards down the field, and T-Birds keep matriculating the ball down the field. So Kraus getting the tackles, getting that stuff in the stat sheet, but right now the Crusaders need to keep the T-Birds out of the end zone. 2
receivers near, far side, 1 near side. Again, pistol formation, and another read option. Pitches out to Carter Kirky. He has room, gets hit and taken down at around the 9-yard line. A loss of 1, and it's going to be 3rd and 7 for Iola Scandinavia.
Yep, Sully Stanky, 225-pound, 5'11" junior is Stanky for the Crusaders, and he was able to get in there and make that play. So defensive line and these linebackers for the Crusaders slowly waking up here and getting moving, getting warmed up on the field, and starting to make some plays. They're going to have to make a play here on 3rd down.
3rd and 7, 1:40 to go, opening quarter. 3rd and 7 from the 9. Iola Scandinavia with it, pistol formation, and it's going to be the second runner, Alex Sharp, to the outside on the right side, touchdown Iola.
What a play there. It was a fake handoff to the inside. Sharp came all the way around from the near end, ran all the way past the offensive line to the far side, took the handoff, and then turned up at the far hash, turned up to the end zone, sprinted in. Easy touchdown for the T-Birds.
14-0 Iola Scandinavia over Racine Lutheran. They have 73 rushing yards already, 24 through the air, 97 in the opening quarter already. Up 14-0 with 90 seconds to go. Making it
look easy right now. The T-Birds cruising here in the early goings as we've got 1.5 minutes left of the first quarter.
Connor Kirky attempts a PAT. It is up, and it is good with 1:30 to go in quarter number 1. It's Iola Scandinavia 15 and Racine Lutheran nothing.
Osterman Electric is your electrical contractor specializing in residential and commercial wiring. No job is too small, and any job is the right size for Osterman Electric. Safety, quality, dependability is not the norm at Osterman. It's the only expectation. The team at Osterman is ready for your call now at 715-937-3706 or see them on Facebook. Osterman Electric is your electrical contractor specializing in residential and commercial wiring. Scotty's Pizza and Chicken in Marshfield is today's pizza delivery choice for you. Scotty's is the world-famous home of the bacon, broccoli, and cheese pizza, along with other specialty pizzas to choose from. Chicken, sandwiches, salads, and a kids menu make Scotty's Pizza the easy choice for the entire family. November is Hawaiian Chicken Month, and that means 20% off. See the menu online at scottyspizza.com or call 715-384-8118. Scotty's Pizza and Chicken.
Welcome back to Camp Randall Stadium. Steve Maves alongside Jason Zaleski here in the Division 6 state championship game. Iola Scandinavia up now 15-0. Drive number 2 went 12 plays, 56 yards, 4 minutes and 58 seconds off of the clock, and Iola up 15-0, just unable to stop the running. And at times, those swing passes from Iola Scandinavia are the Crusaders so far. But just looking at this Crusaders schedule this year, they have put up some big numbers. 42, 24, 56. Their loss to Martin Luther was a 40-8 blowout. They got a forfeit of Kenosha St. Joe's. They lost to Racine St. Cat's, who will play in Division 4 later on tonight, 40-28. They put up 65, 48, 49, 20, 49, 41, and 55. There's another squibber taking it at the 30-yard line to the 35. Cuts back. A little juke move. He's going to fall forward to the 45. And that is where Racine Lutheran will start their second drive.
Yeah, at that time it was James Wilson, 170-pound, 6-foot senior. And James Wilson there alertly hopped on that one and then ran it forward. So it's good field position here for the Crusaders, and that's something I noticed, Steve, when I called that Thunderbird-Falcon matchup just a few weeks ago, is it was squib kick after squib kick. Thunderbirds never kicked it deep the whole game, and they're doing the same thing here.
1st and 10 for the Crusaders. From their own 45-yard line, under center again is Krause. He's going to give it up to Tenner on the near side, and he goes nowhere. Gets swallowed up at the 46.
So I wonder, Steve, go in the mind now of Coach Erickson, what do you think is the rationale behind that? They just don't have the kick coverage team that he likes, or he's just seen something that doesn't work out, but never kicking the ball deep?
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe a couple of years ago, or not a couple of years ago when I played, they had a couple of kickers that could get it down there, but I don't know if they have the personnel.
Kick team for one reason or the other.
Yep. Crusaders pistol again, gives it to Tenner, and he is going to get swallowed up behind the line again. A loss of 3 more.
Boy, what a play by Hartle. 210-pound, 6'1" sophomore. Bry. We'll go with Bry Hartle. Okay. B-R-Y-E. If somebody's got a correction, just chat down below and let me know if you know Mr. Hartle personally. Be happy to say his name right, but man, what a play as he came flying through the offensive backfield.
3rd and 13 now with 20 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Iola Scandinavia might be able to get it back again before the quarter is over. Missed block. Has him across the middle. And again, another open receiver, but missed Elijah Solis again. And with 13 seconds to go in the first quarter, Racine Lutheran is going to have to punt it away.
Yeah, and again, it was one of those deals, one-on-one coverage. He had his guy beat, and the throw just not quite there. He overthrew it by a good step and a half there, maybe even a full 2 steps. So disappointing effort there as this drive will end at the 42-yard line. Punt team on for the Crusaders, and a timeout coming. Coach Erickson down on the sideline didn't like something he had there in this special teams unit, so he calls a timeout. Yeah,
with 13 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Racine Lutheran almost even make it out of the first round of the playoffs.
Right.
They this Pecatonic Argyle team, the team that finished second in Blackhawks conference. Mm-hmm. Racine Lutheran, a winner 20-19. They played that game at Kenosha Indian Trail, but they almost didn't even make it out of the first round of the playoffs, and now they're here in Madison at the state championship.
Yeah, it was upset city for these Crusaders. They beat a 1 seed and a couple 3 seeds along the way. They had the benefit. I don't remember exactly who it was. It was Lancaster. Lancaster was the 3 seed in the other part of that sectional. Lancaster beat the number 1 seed over there. So a trip to state, it was 2 3 seeds going at it. And you're right. They had a fortunate road here, a good dice coming up just the way they needed to the whole way, and here they are at Camp Randall.
Josh Hess back to punt for the Crusaders. Bryce Hittner, I believe, is the returner standing at his own 24-yard line. A quick punt. Wow, a high end-over-end punt. That was one heck of a kick, and it's going to take a Iola Scandinavia bounce and be down at the 13-yard line. And that is where Iola Scandinavia will start drive number 3, up 15-0 with 4 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Hittner had a mind to pick that ball up. It was a high bounce. As the ball was about to go over his head, he did get back. The ball bounced high. It went about 12 feet up in the air, and he looked up at the ball and then looked straight ahead and saw a couple Crusaders coming at him, and then just calmly backed away. But he was prepared to run that ball, and I think he really wanted to.
4 seconds to go, first quarter. Crusaders with just 12 offensive yards. Iola Scandinavia with 97. Pistol formation. And it looks like Hittner received the snap. He's got it. Going to be hit and stay up on his feet to about the 20-yard line. Wildcat formation there for the Thunderbirds, and that will do it for quarter number 1. Here in Camp Randall in Madison, it is Iola Scandinavia Iola Scandinavia 15, Racine Lutheran nothing. We'll be back with a second quarter right after this.
Drexler Transport is committed to providing our customers and drivers with safe, on-time deliveries. Today's economy demands we consistently meet our customers' ever-changing needs. Our customers can be rest assured knowing our top priorities are to represent them and ourselves in the most professional manner possible while always keeping safety and on-time deliveries our top priority. Drexler Transport, commitment, safety, professionalism. Opportunities at Drexler Transport for $65,000 annually. Apply right now at drexlertransport.com. Experience the difference at Badger Title. Badger Title is Wisconsin's first full-service title insurance company. See Badger Title for extensive closing services, title insurance, letter reports, along with construction disbursements and inspections. Since 2001, Badger Title has been serving central Wisconsin with quality work that is second to none. Talk to Cheryl and Davina at Badger Title at 715-389-2900 or visit badgertitle.net.
Quarter number 2 about to get underway here in Madison, Camp Randall Stadium, where the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds lead 15-0. 15-0 over the Racine Lutheran Crusaders. And it's been all Iola Scandinavia so far here in the first quarter. Again, over 100 yards in that opening quarter. They lead 15-0. Getting a little talking to before they go out in the second quarter from head coach Scott Erickson. Again in season number 26, 202 wins compared to 79 losses as the head coach of the Thunderbirds. On the other side, Scott Smith with 133 wins to 77 losses in 20 years. So a little ways to go for Scott Smith, but Scott Erickson with surpassing that 200 win mark a couple of weeks ago. That was the Abbotsford game. Shotgun formation again. Connor Kirky's going to hand it off. He's going to keep it up the middle, have room to the 25, pass to the 30, get ripped down, and get dragged out of bounds. And the clock continues to run.
Some the oohs and ahs after that hit there, Steve, but he was contacted inbounds.
Yep.
And at that point, it was game on, and the same people that had contacted him and were hanging on to him were still the same people that were also hanging on to him and contacting him out of bounds. So no late hit when that type of thing happens, even though it's kind of a fun thing to watch, a guy getting kind of bowled over out of bounds. But like you said, first down, and we're off and running here in the second quarter.
First and 10 from the 32-yard line, under 11 and a half to go in the opening half. 15-0 Iola Scandinavia. Pistol formation. They're going to run that counter play again. Hittner on the near side and falls forward to about the 35-yard line, right on the 35-yard line. You can see the X where the Badger kickers place the T for the college games, and that is exactly where he fell at the 35.
Yeah, Hittner making guys miss out there. Elijah Solis, again, we call his name, and he was one of those that Hittner left in the dust as he made one move, and Solis went the other way. Nice work out there by Hittner, and no surprise.
Pistol formation and back to pass. Under pressure. Will Katie near side, and it's going to be incomplete.
And I wondered if a flag would come out there, and it did, as there was contact down the sideline. You might argue, if you're Coach Smith, and he's all the way on the other side of the field, so he may not know, but you may argue that pass was uncatchable due to how close it was to the boundary, but yet Hess had made contact with Katie, and a pass interference call will be the case here.
Yeah, Hess didn't look back for the ball at all and ran Katie right out of bounds. Yeah. And it's going to be a big penalty for Racine against Iola Scandinavia. They're going to put it right at the 50, right dead center into the middle of the field, right on the second the second line on the W to go up right in the middle of Camp Randall Stadium.
Yeah, I certainly agree with the call, so I don't want to be misstated there. It was the right call to make. It was just a close call. As it was.
Pistol formation. They're going to have the option play. Bryce Hittner's going to get stopped in the backfield and dragged down at the 48-yard line. a loss of 2, and it's going to be 2nd and 12. Racine Lutheran ready for that pitch.
Yeah, Nolan Krause, again, defensive back, as defensive backs lead the way in tackles here for the Crusaders early on. That time, not because Hittner was in the defensive backfield already, but just because these pitchers are going wide, and these defensive backs are doing a good job at coming up and filling, and nice tackle there for a loss made by Krause.
Three receivers near side. Shotgun formation again for Connor Kirky. 2 running backs, Carter Kirky and Bryce Hittner. Flank him to either side. He's going to give it to Bryce Hittner. He's going to keep it, bounce out to the outside, and get dragged down to the 50. Nice job by the defender coming off of his block and getting the tackle at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, and that was actually Connor Kirky there who had kept the ball off of that. And Kirky with a nice Bryce Hittner impersonation there as he juked one and sidestepped another and plunged forward for a gain of about 3 yards on the play.
Big 3rd down and 9.5 to go here in the second quarter. If the Crusaders could get off the field, it'd be big here with a lot of time to go in the half. Back to passes. Connor Kirky has a receiver, and that's Alex.
Oh,
that's
what a catch.
caught. That's Alex Sharp. What a catch at the 19-yard line. A gain of 30 on the play.
That was one of those unintentional back shoulder fades as the ball was just underthrown, and that's what made it even a better catch than you might even think. Alex Sharp able to come back for the ball, angle his body, and keep the boundary and his defender right in between. He was right in between his defender and the boundary, able to jump up, high point that ball, and come down with the catch over Hess.
Connor Kirky, one of the top pitchers in Central Wisconsin during baseball. That's going to be a counter play again and go nowhere. Racine Lutheran ready for that one as well. But going back to Connor Kirky's throwing arm on the football field, outstanding, but even better on the mound during baseball in the spring. One heck of a pitcher for Iola Scandinavia.
Nice job there by the Crusaders' Jalen Houston. First time we give that linebacker name a call, and he did a nice job of coming back there, seeing who had the call after the fakes were distributed and brought him down for a loss.
He's going to set up the screen play, and it's going to be incomplete out of the hands of Carter Kirky. Split Bryce Hittner all the way out and try to run the screen play to Carter and just drop the ball on the screen pass. Tyler
Tenner playing as a defensive back right now may have had a chance if he was able to see that screen develop a little faster to come up on the overthrow and pick that ball. If he would have caught it, he would have been gone. They would have taken that one 80 yards to the house the other way. But it was just a little bit slow on seeing that screen play come out, and would have been there for the tackle had the catch been made.
Bryce Hittner in the Wildcat formation right now. He's going to get the direct snap, roll out to the right. He's going to try and find a player. He's wide open at the 5-yard line. It's going to be knocked away.
Wow,
Nicely done by James Wilson.
Yeah, more razzle-dazzle being put on here by Coach Erickson, and all kinds of action on the football field. You had about 10 to 12 guys going all the way to the right of the field, and that left the whole left side of that field wide open. There were actually 2 T-Bird receivers out there and only 1 James Wilson. Yeah. And the one James Wilson made the play and knocked it down. 4th down now upcoming for Iola Scandinavia.
Bryce Hittner has thrown the ball 3 times now this year, has not completed one, 0 for 3 on the year as a passer. 4th and 13 with 8:09 to go. Iola Scandinavia shotgun formation as Connor Kirky is going to hand it off. No, play action pass, has him across the middle, open and into the end zone, touchdown. Will Cady with the touchdown, 22 yards.
And that was a perfectly run route by Cady and Sharp there on the outside. They ran a crossing route where they crossed each other right about at the 5-yard line. Either of them would have been open. Cady was the better choice as he was completely wide open after that crossing pattern was had out there. And everything working here for the T-Birds offensively as we're just at 8 minutes here left to go before halftime. And it is all T-Birds here. And again, the passing efficiency, just the overall offensive efficiency. But on that drive, what struck me in particular, Connor Kirky in the offense being able to pass the ball whenever they wanted to get down the field.
Connor Kirky with the PAT perfectly through the uprights. And good. With 8:01 to go in the opening half, it is now Iola Scandinavia 22, Racine Lutheran nothing after a 22-yard touchdown pass from Connor Kirky to Will Katie on 4th and 13. We'll be back after this with the kickoff.
Looking for reliable high-speed internet? Look at Country Wireless. Country Wireless provides reliable high-speed internet to rural central Wisconsin with unlimited data, no usage caps, and speeds up to a blazing fast 7 meg. Want faster? Contact Country Wireless now to see if you qualify for 50 meg service and then take advantage of all the internet has to offer. Go to countrywireless.com to get on your way to high-speed internet. Introducing the new way to survive planning a party. Hire Gabrielle Linen Company to do all of the preparation, setup, shopping, decoration, and cleaning for you. Gabrielle Linen Company is a local party planning business with pricing options to fit any size budget. Call 715-630-4381 or go to GabrielleLinenCompany.com for more details. Gabrielle Linen Company for your next event.
Back to Camp Randall Stadium here in Madison, Wisconsin, on the beautiful campus of the University of Wisconsin in Madison. The Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds looking for their first gold ball in football. They are 0-3 in 3 appearances. This is their 4th, but a commanding 22-0 lead and making it look somewhat easy offensively.
Yeah, I would say incredibly easy. The Crusaders really haven't stopped anything thus far. And again, as the sun now fills all of the playing surface at Camp Randall, except for one little notch on the 10-yard line down here on the south part of the end zone. Another squib kick goes through one and picked up by another.
Taken and drilled at the 42-yard line this time.
And then the shadows now, again, begin to kind of get a little bit longer here as we are, well, we're in deer hunting season, which means we're in mid to late November, and the daylight just goes away faster than you'd like it to this time of year. But all the south end zone bleachers are in shade. Everything here on the west side of Camp Randall is in shade. And if you're on the east side of the stadium, it's not a bad day, and it is completely sunny out there, maybe even a little bit of a suntan opportunity. I don't know.
It kind of looks like that is where the Stratford Tigers will be, is on the far side. A lot of orange fans heading over there right now. That's going to be Tenor on the near or far side. He's going to get tripped up past the 45, and a gain of a couple for Tyler Tenor, and it's going to be 2nd and a long 7. Oh, maybe not. 2nd and 5. Yeah. 2nd and 6.
Beautiful campus here at the University of Wisconsin. If you have never made your way down here to Madison, please do. Lots to do, lots to see. Beautifully laid out campus, rich and steeped in history, and of course home to the Wisconsin Badgers.
Pistol formation again for the Crusaders. It's going to be a counter play, and it's going to be pitched to the 50. He's got room to the 45-40, to the 35-30, to the 20. Foot race inside the 15.
Yeah, brought down by Katie. Katie with the touchdown-saving tackle there after the big run, and now a little bit of a hitch in his giddy up there. We'll keep an eye on that. Probably not a whole lot to be concerned about at this point, but just a little bit slow to get up back to the line of scrimmage. And a couple Crusaders come in off the sideline, and we will get a timeout. I thought we may get some sort of an injury timeout off of that, as Jalen Houston there did all the running, and then as he was brought down by Katie kind of brought him down by his ankle, and his ankle is what's bothering him now as he heads off the field, and we've just got a short stoppage here while we will let Mr. Houston get off the field, and he does. But yeah, what a run there, and the first real offensive anything we've seen by the Crusaders today, and it's got them in a 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Jalen Houston, 43 yards on the run. Pistol formation again is Kraus. Behind him is Tenor. He hands it off to Tenor on the far side. They run it perfectly to the 10, falls forward inside, and he stepped out of bounds. Did Tenor at the 7.5-yard line.
Yeah, Tenor made a couple of guys miss there and been nothing but impressed with his running here today. One of those that was a little bit confused and turned around was Carter Kirky. Just kind of over-pursued a bit, but I'm telling you, Tenor can make you look like you're in the wrong place. He just is quite a running back out here for the Crusaders.
Kraus, again, pistol formation, has Michael Jacobson to his left, Tenor behind him. Couple hard counts, another high snap, gives it up to Tenor, falls forward to the 5 to the 6-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long for the Crusaders.
A couple of T-Birds in on the tackle. Anthony Petrosa really led the way, and then big number 64, Kellen Wanke, came and finished up the tackle there, bringing up this 3rd down for the Crusaders.
3rd and 5 with 6:20 to go here in the first half. 22-0 Iola Scandinavia. Jacobson now moves to the right side of Kraus with Tenor behind him. It's going to be a counter play. Nope, it's going to roll out to his right. Has him open. He's going to look to run. Jukes a defender inside the 5. Gets tackled down at the 3-yard line. And it's going to be 4th and 3 from the 3.
Yeah, Bry Hartle was the one there on the outside that got juked, but then he made a nice stop in his own tracks, able to gather himself and get his feet under him, get his shoulder pads back square, and then help to bring him down on the tackle. So a nice job there by Hartle. Hartle really could have made a gaffe out there and taken a bad angle, and that bad angle could have resulted in a Crusader touchdown. He actually forced the runner back inside on that play, so a nice job there, and then a team tackle afterwards by the T-Birds.
Yeah, Scott Smith of Racine Lutheran wants to take a timeout to talk over this 4th and 2 from the 3. They trail 22-0 with 5:36 to go in the opening half. Don't forget to stick around in around 4 o'clock, Stratford and Fond du Lac St. Mary Springs in the Division 5 state championship game. Iola Scandinavia fell to St. Mary Springs last year. They haven't missed a beat all year long, going from Division 6 to Division 5.
No, and they really started out in that week 1. They came up to Amherst and said, all right, well, you're going to have us playing D5 this year. We'll go play last year's D5 champs, and we're just going to beat them 35-0, and no big deal here. And then they romped their way through their schedule again this year, and then through the D5 playoffs thus far, and really haven't been challenged, and we'll see what the Tigers have to say about that. You mentioned shortly after this game, the game I think will start at 4 no matter what, because WIA runs a very tight ship, and they'll just give the teams less time to warm up if that's the case.
It's going to be 4th and 2 from the 3. Krause in pistol formation, Tenor behind him. Back in again. They're going to give it near side. Going to run out to the outside, and he's going to fall to the 3-yard line and not get it. Turnover on downs. And that is where the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds will take over. That's Jalen Houston back in after that long run. And a great job of containment by Iola Scandinavia.
Man, Ed Bonikowski made that play happen. He saw it coming the whole way. He made a nice form tackle. He got waist level against a running back there, and then wrapped him up and then brought him down. It was a perfectly executed tackle there by Bonikowski, and doing the job there to keep the Crusaders out of the end zone and off of the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Iola Scandinavia at their own 3-yard line with 5.5 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. They lead 22-0. We'll be back with their first play of the drive after this.
Clear your calendars for December 9th and have an experience like no other. It's the Toys for Tots Piano Guys concert at the Performing Arts Center in Wisconsin Rapids. Join us at this fantastic benefit concert featuring the dueling piano talents of the new Piano Guys to benefit the community of Wisconsin Rapids. Toys for Tots Toy Drive. Go to Facebook now and search Toys for Tots Piano Guys Wisconsin Rapids. Tickets are available now for this fun event for a great cause. It's the Toys for Tots Piano Guys concert in Wisconsin Rapids on December 9th. Marshfield Family Restaurant on South Central Avenue in Marshfield is ready for their grand opening on November 20th. The new team at Marshfield Family Restaurant has a great menu and a new look at service as this iconic downtown Marshfield restaurant reopens. Marshfield Family Restaurant is also open on Thanksgiving for you and your family to enjoy a no-fuss, no-cleanup Thanksgiving dinner. Marshfield Family Restaurant with their grand opening on Tuesday, November 20th, located at 443 South Central Avenue.
Back to Camp Randall Stadium we are. It is the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds 22, and it is Racine Lutheran Crusaders nothing. Racine Lutheran again just in their first ever state championship game. Iola Scandinavia looking for their first state championship in school history in football. They are 0-3 in the previous 3 games. They fell last year. Bryce Hittner, the Wildcat formation, has room outside, gets stopped, spins ahead, falls past the 5 to the 7-yard line, and a gain of 4. It's going to be 2nd and 6.
Hittner, and one of the reasons he's the top running back in Wisconsin State history is just his ability to keep his feet moving. Whether he's spinning, going lateral, going forward, his feet are always moving, and he's always got the intention to keep going forward. And a lot of those 5 yards there were the result of his determination and keeping his feet moving to keep the ball going forward.
Their last drive went 10 plays, 87 yards, just over 4 minutes. They got to go 97 yards on this drive. Bryce Hittner's going to keep it again on the Wildcat and keep his feet moving to the 10-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down from the 10.
Yeah, not a lot of room there as the Crusader defensive line had flowed from right to left, and that was probably a play call, just a slant on the defensive line that coach just happened to call correctly. I mean, you got a 50-50. You tell your defensive line, slant left, slant right. That time they slanted left, and they slanted right into the hit and run, and there was no real hole there, and the reason the outcome was about a 1.5 yard, 2-yard gain.
3rd down and 3 from the 10-yard line, 4:15 to go. Again, Bryce Hittner will be taking the snap at his own 6. And the snap to him. He's going to hand it off. Have room is Carter Kirky. Past the 10 up to past the 15 to the 19-yard line. Nice read there by Bryce Hittner as 1st down, Iola Scandinavia.
What a move there by Kirky. He was about to be bottled up. Number 34, Henry Hoft, 175-pound, 5'8" sophomore linebacker for the Crusaders, had him lined up. Kirky just jump cut left and cut right past him and got the 1st down. Without that jump cut and that vision there by Kirky, the T-Birds would be punting right now.
Connor Kirky now back in at the quarterback position. Bryce Hittner stands behind him. Carter Kirky to his right. 2 receivers set. And again on that counter play, Bryce Hittner going to try and cut back and go nowhere. A loss of a yard, and it's going to be 2nd and 11 from the 18.
Yeah, at that time he went nowhere because big 240-pound David Voss said, "You are going nowhere right now." He beat the guy in front of him, and as I'm looking down there, he's usually lined up against number 76 for the T-Birds, who doesn't appear on our roster today, unless I'm reading that number wrong. But really, that was David Voss, 5'9", 240-pounder. I bet he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He's a good football player out here, too.
It's going to be 2nd and 11, 3 minutes to go in the opening half. And there's going to be an offsides there on 34 Henry Heff for Racine Lutheran.
And there is no 76 for the T-Birds. That's why he's not on the roster.
Oh.
It's actually number 78, Tyler Ambrosius. And, again, Ambrosius is a good football player.
Yeah.
He's winning most of the battles down there. Voss just happened to win that last one. And but now they gave it right back with that procedure penalty.
2nd and 6 now with under 3 minutes to go. Connor Kirky is going to hand it off to Hittner on the left side. Have room past the 25 to the 28-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down for Iola Scandinavia.
Yeah, Bry Hartle, and if I make sure I get all the names right here, Henry Hoff for the Crusaders, kind of having a little extracurricular battle there as that play went on. Those two locked horns in the middle of the field as Hartle came out of his left guard stance there, and those two met, and they continued to block each other long after that whistle had blown. They were having some good fun on the football field. 2
minutes and 20 seconds to go, opening half. And he's going to hand it off to Bryce. No, he's going to keep it as Connor Kirky bounces out to the outside of the 30 to the 35. And going to get ripped out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Another great read by Connor Kirky, 1st down, Iola Scandinavia. Yeah, I was going to say, Steve, it's a good thing that he did keep it. If he would have given it to Hittner, that was going to be a big loss on the play as all eyes were on Hittner on that run option. Kirky did the right thing and pulled it back into himself and able to get the 1st down. 22-0 in favor of the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds. 2:09 to go here in the opening half. Shotgun formation, 2 running backs split him. He's going to give it to Bright. No, he's going to keep it again up the middle to the 45, the 50, and past the 50 to the 45. Get bounced around like a pinball machine, but stay up to the 44-yard line. 1st down again. Yeah, big hole there, and I just got done talking about big number 60, David Voss, and mentioned Tim Nelson, the other defensive lineman down there, and those two guys that are anchoring that D-line both went for the fake, and that's why you do that. That's why you do that run option, because those two guys in the middle of that defensive line went for it. Middle of that defense was wide open, and Kirky ran right through it. to receivers near side. Bryce Hittner stands to the left. He's going to be back to pass. Is Connor Kirky. He's going to fall down and go nowhere. Gets slammed down at the 45-yard line, and a sack for the Racine Lutheran Crusaders.
Yeah, Solis there, taking a little bit of his frustration on some of those plays he got beat on earlier, and they sent a little bit of a blitz there. Solis coming out of his defensive end spot, and the linebacker, both he and that linebacker filled that C gap on the outside. They both came screaming through there. It was a play-action pass. That play takes a little bit longer to develop, and by the time that play did develop, a sack was a result of that at the hands of Elijah Solis.
1 minute and 11 seconds to go in the second half. Scott Erickson takes a timeout. You're listening to Division 6 State High School Football Championships here on Tri-Media. Steve Mapes alongside Jason Zaleski, Kevin Bargander, and Sean Cordy doing our highlights for us here today. Iola Scandinavia 22, Racine Lutheran nothing here in the Division 6 state championship game. Edgar fell in Division 7, 22-15 over the Black Hawk Warriors. So got another game after this, so stick around for Stratford and St. Mary's Springs as well.
I can vouch for the fact that Kevin Bargander, sitting right to the left of us, is working at a feverish pace, getting those Edgar Blackhawk highlights done. I know most of our audience from or around the Edgar area, more Wildcat fans in our network than Warrior fans. Maybe not after today, though. Who knows? But I know even in a losing effort, you all want to support your Edgar Wildcats, and you want to have a look at the game as some of you were at work or just not available to get to a TV, and you listen to our broadcast. We promise the highlights to you, and they are coming out shortly.
Second and a long 20 with the 1 minute and 11 seconds. Pitches out to Hittner on the near side. Has it at the 45 to the 50. Gets a nice block to the 45. It's run out of bounds and an extra effort, and there's going to be a late hit out of bounds.
Yeah, Hittner was still stiff-arming as he ran out of bounds, and he was stiff-arming number 9, Josh Hess, again, 6'3", senior for the Crusaders, and those two were just kind of pushing each other, and Hess with the last push after Hittner was long out of bounds, and Hess, like he took some offense to that stiff arm, and 22-0 type of score, and these things will happen, but they're going to march off 15 yards as a result of the aggressive behavior by Mr. Hess on the Iola Scandinavia sideline.
So after the 10-yard gain, they're going to add 15 more on for Iola Scandinavia, and with 66 seconds to go, as you see Hess walking to his bench as Coach Smith not happy after a play like that.
A lot of teams have a team policy that on a personal foul you're automatically off the field for a play just to calm down and cool off, and I know we'll see Hess again probably yet here in the first half.
Three receivers left side, Bryce Hittner, and back to pass. Has his receiver across the middle, caught at the 20, or at the 10, the 5, spins, falls into the end zone, touchdown.
What a move. And
Carter Kirky.
What absolute effort by Carter Kirky to keep running, spinning, and by the end of it, and as I see our Sean Cordy down there whipping up highlights for this game, you will see this highlight here later on today, but Kirky, with his jersey being pulled on by the defender, dragged him into the end zone, leaned forward, reached the ball across the plane of the goal line, touchdown T-Birds.
Iola Scandinavia 28, Racine Lutheran nothing, 58 seconds to go in the first half. And it is going to be through the uprights and good with 58 seconds to go. Iola Scandinavia goes 97 yards for their touchdown.
A great career is waiting for you at Rail Transport. Don't have your CDL? Get paid to get your CDL. It's even better than free truck driver training. Rail Transport will train you to get your CDL and pay you during the training. You'll be hired on day one, paid $500 weekly, and trained by the leader in the trucking industry. Experienced drivers, you can start at 59 cents per mile. Start your career with a company that invests in you. Go to rail.jobs now and get your career started. Steve, it's not very often in a state championship game that a running clock becomes something of a consideration, but at 29-0, it's a consideration right now, and the Crusaders are in deep trouble.
Well, absolutely, especially with an offense in Racine Lutheran that can't get anything going. Iola Scandinavia has been dominant on offense, over 245 yards at 246 yards right now. Racine Lutheran just at 67 total yards, no passing yards. That last drive went 10 plays, 97 yards 4 minutes and 32 seconds, capped off by that 29-yard touchdown pass from Connor Kirky to Carter Kirky. And kicking it off from left to right, and going to be taking it at the 26-yard line. Far side has room, cuts back up the middle to the 45 to the 47-yard line. That's where 48-yard line. That's where Racine Lutheran will have it with 51 seconds to go and a timeout remaining.
Well, and that's about the best situation, I think, or at least the most favorable situation the Crusaders could have hoped for at this point, was just to have a chance here at the end of the half. And they've got a chance now. 51 seconds. They've got a timeout. We don't know anything about a field goal kicker or that kind of thing, but they've got a chance here in 30 yards. You'd figure they'd be in some sort of field goal range, possibly more after that, but this first play is going to decide a lot about how this drive will go.
Under center is Kraus. He's going to give it to Tenner on the end around and get his jersey pulled, have no room to the 50 and to the Iola Scandinavia 49-yard line.
Yeah, good gain there. That's what you got to have. Get a bunch of yards, and they picked up, well, they're actually going to mark him out after only a 3-yard gain. I thought he was further than that. But he got positive yardage. That was sharp. That was kind of pulling his coattails, and Tenner ran out of that tackle and then ran out of bounds to stop the clock. 43
seconds to go in the opening half, 29-0 Iola Scandinavia. And it was going to be to Tenner on the outside again. Half room to the 40 to the 35. Here. Lots of room with the speed, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, touchdown saving tackle there by William Cady.
They're going to put him at the 13.
Yeah, huge run. That's exactly what I was just talking about. The Crusaders had this opportunity. It's kind of a golden opportunity here to make something happen here before halftime. And Tenner doing all the work. 2 carries and a bunch of yards.
It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line in the second, with 34 seconds to go in the second quarter. One receiver near side, that's James Wilson. Under center is Kraus, and they're going to get it up the middle and go nowhere. That one is...
Yeah, that was Houston, Jalen Houston, who was injured earlier here in this game, back on the field now and gains a couple there. Nice job of a team tackle by the Thunderbirds there to keep him out of the end zone.
20 seconds to go. Coach Smith tells his team to hurry up, get to the line, and run a play. Down to the 11-yard line with 10 seconds. They're taking a lot of time off the clock. Get it up to Tenner on the right side and bounce it out to the outside. He's going to stay in bounds. And
they will waive the clock stop there, but I'll tell you, the Crusaders made what I feel now with 4 seconds left to be a crucial error there. They could have called a timeout, had about 18 seconds left to run these plays. Instead, say it takes 5 seconds to run that play, you would have had 13 seconds and no timeouts. Now you got 4 seconds and 1 timeout. What does 1 timeout do for you with 4 seconds left? That didn't make any sense.
Yeah, and they are going to take that final timeout right now with a 3rd and 3 from the 6-yard line. They had a 4th down and manageable just a couple of minutes ago when they turned it over on downs Iola Scandinavia, and they went 97 yards to put another touchdown on the board. But 4 seconds remaining. Iola Scandinavia 29 and Racine Lutheran nothing. Racine Lutheran fewest points on the year was 8 in a loss to Martin Luther, and they lost 40-8 in that game, and that was back on September 7th.
Yeah, again, I feel just a coaching blunder there with the timeout and bad usage of the clock there. All that blunder, though, gets wiped away with a touchdown here. So coaching staff calls a timeout, and they got 1 play to score the touchdown. And only 4 seconds left from the 6-yard line. The correct play call here, a good execution, and then nobody, even me, talks about that poor clock usage after that point. We'll see what happens here.
James Wilson, the receiver on the near side. Kraus, the quarterback. That's Colton Kraus.
Yeah, a lot of talk back and forth here from the line of scrimmage and back to the sideline. They're going to have to hurry up now to run this play to get it off on time.
And under center, they're going to pitch it out to Tenner. He's going to be back to throw. Half room on the near side. He's going to try and take it at the 5. Bounces out to the outside, and he's not going to make it.
No, he was stopped.
1-yard line.
Hittner and Bonikowski and a couple others stopped him right inside the 1. The ball sits about the 2-foot line, and all that talk over there and that timeout, and it led to no point. So now I get to go back and talk about that again. They would have had 18 seconds, maybe 15, with no timeouts, that's a chance for 2, maybe 3 plays. Instead, the clock mismanagement had to call the timeout with just 4 seconds left. He got 1 play. The 1 play was a halfback option. Tanner found some open room on the other side, but just too many T-Birds crowding that goal line stopped him, prevented the score, and keep a 0 on the board for the Crusaders.
Through one half of play here in the Division VI State High School Football Championship, it is the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds 29, Racine Lutheran Crusaders nothing. We're going to step aside, come back, get you ready for the second half, and have the second half for you in just a little bit. Again, Steve Mavis alongside Jason Zaleski. You're listening to Division VI State High School Football on Tri-Media.
battery pack's not working with this one, so you can keep it.
It's not? Are you sure? Wait, do you have it on? Wait. Here, this is what you gotta do. It wasn't on, that's why. Now it should work. There you go. All right, you're good.
All right, back here at Camp Randall Stadium in beautiful Madison, Wisconsin, on the campus of the University of Wisconsin, and we are just about through with halftime here. The Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds lead the Racine Lutheran Crusaders 29-0, and we'll bring Steve Maves on the set here with us. In interesting times here, something we noted in the pregame, but didn't really, obviously we didn't say anything about it because it just seemed interesting but not odd. Well, now I'm going to say it's just flat out odd. The Crusaders didn't really come out for pregame warm-ups. They were out during the pregame, but just kind of did a lot of milling around, kind of standing around. They weren't doing any type of warm-up activity, no running, no aerobic activity, nothing like that. And then during halftime, T-Birds came out with about 6 minutes left on the halftime clock, went through their halftime routine, and the Crusaders were nowhere to be found. And as a matter of fact, the Crusaders just came back onto the field about a minute ago with about 2 minutes left on the halftime clock, came out, did some very light kind of jogging in place and some light calisthenics, and they're ready to go. And maybe that's their whole season routine and got them to this point. And sports people can be superstitious, and maybe one game accidentally they didn't have any of that pregame and then just kept winning, so they kept at it. But otherwise, I can't find an explanation on why you wouldn't bring your team out for warm-ups or anything like that. But as it is, Steve, we are set for second half football here. T-Birds 29, Crusaders nothing.
Yeah, and it's been all Iola Scandinavia as the scoreboard shows. We'll start with the Crusaders, some halftime stats. They have no passing yards. Tyler Tenner, 13 rushing attempts, 66 yards. Jalen Houston, 5 rushes, 49 yards. And Colton Krause, just 1 rush for 3 yards. That adds up to their 118 total yards of offense, 4 first downs, 2 for 5 on third downs, and 3 penalties for 35 yards for the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds. Connor Kirky, 6 of 8 through the air, 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bryce Hittner, 18 rushing attempts, 78 yards. Connor Kirky, 8 rushes, 42 yards. Alex Sharp on a couple of jet sweeps, 2 rushes, 18 yards. And Iola Scandinavia will kick things off. And Racine Lutheran will take it at the 35, take it all the way to the far side, get a nice block to the 45, to the fall out of bounds at around the 48-yard line, and that's where the Crusaders will start the second half.
Yeah, knocked out of bounds there by our kicker, and if I don't have it right. The kicker must have been Jaworski out there doing the kicking duties, and it was. And Jaworski saved, I won't say a touchdown-saving tackle out there, but he certainly saved another 20, 30 yards as it was a nice run back. And as Steve just mentioned, Crusaders still showing a 0 on the scoreboard. We're in danger of a running clock here, are the Crusaders, but they'll start at their own 47-yard line right outside of the Wisconsin W.
Yeah, and the shadows are starting to creep in. Over half the stadium or field is in shadows. That was going to be taken. Touchdown all the way. What a pass from Colton Krause to James Williams. That one goes all the way 53 yards, and Racine Lutheran gets on the board here in the second half.
Who needs a warm-up?
Yeah.
Nobody. We don't have to warm up anything around here. We just throw the ball 53 yards. I will tell you, it was a nice catch there by Wilson. Got away with a little bit of a push there at the end, kind of a pro move with his inside hand to the defensive back where the official couldn't see him. I could, so I've got a little bit better view. But he made some space for himself, jumped up and caught the ball, and then it was a race to the end zone that he won for the touchdown.
David Voss in for the PAT. That one's going to be a line drive, man, but it goes through, and it is in. And with 11:44 to go in the third quarter, it is now Iola Scandinavia 29, Racine Lutheran 7, a 53-yard touchdown pass from Colton Krause to James Wilson, and the Crusaders get on the board for the first time.
Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show.
Scotty's Pizza and Chicken in Marshfield is today's pizza delivery choice for you. Scotty's is the world-famous home of the bacon, broccoli, and cheese pizza, along with your other specialty pizzas to choose from. Chicken, sandwiches, salads, and a kids menu make Scotty's Pizza the easy choice for the entire family. November is Hawaiian Chicken Month, and that means 20% off. See the menu online at scottyspizza.com. Call 715-384-8118. Scotty's Pizza and Chicken.
Welcome back to Camp Randall Stadium. Racine Lutheran made a change on offense to get on the board here. Just 16 seconds into the third quarter. We'll see what Iola Scandinavia can do. An outside kick, and that one's going to not make it 10 yards.
Well, I don't see a flag on the field, and Steve, they are pointing the other way. I don't think it made it 10 yards either. Couldn't quite see from here if it went off.
Oh, it is going to be a Racine Lutheran ball.
Yeah.
I think it might have hit off of a Iola Scandinavia player.
Well, if it did, it would have been 73 down there who had the ball come off of him, Noah Olson. He was the nearest T-Bird to the ball, but he's putting his arms up, and he's coming over and telling Coach, I never touched it. Coach now is talking to the side judge, saying, my guy never touched it. What the heck's going on here? But the officials came down and pointed right away that it was a legal onside kick. The ruling has been made regardless of what Coach wants to, and he's mad. I mean, he is steamed on the sideline. But regardless of that, Crusaders back with the ball.
Yeah, and just like that, it is Racine Lutheran ball at their own 49-yard line, 29-7 in favor of the Thunderbirds. In motion goes center. He'll take it out on the far side, cut in, and get inside Thunderbird territory to the 46-yard line.
Prior to that snap, Steve, it was 20 seconds off of the third quarter clock, and the Crusaders had scored and had the ball back at midfield just like that. I mean, as we look at the live clock now, there's only 35 seconds been taken off the clock, and the Crusaders challenging things here in the second half.
11:15 to go in the third quarter. Racine Lutheran trying to get answer back after Iola Scandinavia put up 29 in the first half. They got it again. Under center is Kraus. He's going to hand it off. Near side is going to take it, and Iola Scandinavia was ready for it. That was Josh Hess falling forward to the 45, and another gain of a yard, and it's going to be 3rd and 4 with under 11 minutes to go.
Yeah, Hittner, joined by sophomore teammate Kyle Heisey, in on the tackle there for the T-Birds as they were able to see that one coming the whole way. Crusaders now here in what could be a pivotal third down play. It's third and a long 4. They get this, and they can really keep their momentum going.
Krause in the pistol formation, Tenor behind him. He's going to roll out to his right, look for a player. He's got him at the 40. Forward progress will give him the first down.
And they will. They'll mark him just ahead of the first down line. And it was a nice play call there, as it was a sprint right by the quarterback, and found number 23 there, Solis, out on about a 4-yard out and up, and he ran right down the 40-yard line. The line to gain was the 39. He ran right down the 40. He was hit when he caught the ball, driven backwards, but you're right, forward progress got him a first down right at the 40.
1st and 10 with 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go, and Solis was on the wrong side of a couple of incompletions in the first half, able to bring that one in. Krause, hands it off. That was going to be to Tenor. He tried to cut backwards, and Alex Sharp with the tackle, a loss of a yard to the 41.
And Sharp, with a real show of strength and force there, came in, and Tenor had nowhere to go when Sharp got a hold of him, tackled him for a loss, and the T-Bird defense now starting to stiffen up a little bit. I'm sure they came to the sideline after that big 53-yard touchdown pass and got together, and they probably got together along with Coach Erickson, and they said enough is enough here, and let's see what the defense can do on 2nd and long.
2nd and 11 with 9:20 to go, third quarter. And it's going to be a slant pass, and it's going to be caught after it was bobbled. Nice concentration, and it's going to be taken to the 31-yard line. A gain of 10, and it's going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, nice job there by the receiver, Josh Hess. We mentioned Hess back in the second quarter with the personal foul down the sideline. He was taken out of the game for a couple plays, comes back here in the third quarter. Big catch, a 10-yard gain, and you're right, he juggled the ball, kept his concentration on it, and hauled it in. 3rd and short now upcoming for the Crusaders.
Under center is Kraus. Tenor to the left of him behind the back, and he's going to run it out to the outside, has room to the 30, plows it to the defender and rolls out of bounds, but it's going to be a first down for the Crusaders at the 29 now.
Big hit put on there by Anthony Petrosa, just slammed into Tenor, running out of bounds, and it was speed on strength, and it was a big collision there on the far side, the what is still sunny side of Camp Randall Stadium as we look all the way over to the east. and very, very little sun left, but that's where that collision happened, and the speed of Tenor there prevailed for the first down.
We're seeing Lutheran working from right to left, south to north as we look at Camp Randall Stadium. Back to passes. Kraus is going to have it on the delay. Bounce out to Tenor. Has room up to the 25. Pass inside the 25 to the 22, 23-yard line. And it's going to be second down for Racine Lutheran.
T-Bird captain Keegan Singh, senior, 5'10", 230-pounder, saw Tenor and then didn't see him. I mean, he just raced right by Singh, and Singh had to look up and find where the heck did he go.
Pistol again for Kraus, and he's going to roll out to his right. To the far side, is going to be knocked away by Connor Kirky. What a play by the quarterback and defensive back Connor Kirky for Iola Scandinavia.
Pass there going to Hess, and Hess was on the goal line, and Kirky stepped in front of him, actually made a tremendous play on the ball, stepped in front of him as Hess was standing on the goal line about to score the touchdown, and Kirky timed it perfectly, jumped the route right at the very top of that route, came in with his right hand and batted the ball down. Third down now upcoming.
8:02 remaining here in the third quarter, 29-7 in favor of Iola Scandinavia. Under centers Kraus again, 3rd and 4. And it's going to take it, and it's going to be a fumble. Try to reverse, and it's going to be picked up by Tenor again. He's going to step on his feet, and he's going to try and do something and lose about 7 yards. They tried the reverse, but it was read perfectly and met right at the exchange point.
Yeah, it was, and the T-Birds were all over that one. But Tenor again up to the occasion. He made about 4 T-Birds miss. And turned what would have been about a 15-yard loss into only a 7-yard loss. And I say only because on 4th down now, it's a situation where they're going to keep their offense on the field. If they're backed up all the way to the 40, it's a 4th and about 20. And in that case, you're probably not going to go for it, down 29-7. But we will have a timeout as the T-Birds want to think about things.
Yeah, Scott Erickson takes his first time out of the second half with 7:51 to go. It's a 4th and 13, 29-7 in favor of the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds. We'll be back after this.
Draxler Transport is committed to providing our customers and drivers with safe, on-time deliveries. Today's economy demands we consistently meet our customers' ever-changing needs. Our customers can be rest assured knowing our top priorities are to represent them and ourselves in the most professional manner possible, while always keeping safety and on-time deliveries our top priority. Draxler Transport, commitment, safety, professionalism. Opportunities at Draxler Transport for $65,000 annually apply right now at DraxlerTransport.com. Experience the difference at Badger Title. Badger Title is Wisconsin's first full-service title insurance company. See Badger Title for extensive closing services, title insurance, letter reports, along with construction disbursements and inspections. Since 2001, Badger Title has been serving Central Wisconsin with quality work that is second to none. Talk to Cheryl and Davina at Badger Title, 715-389-2900, or visit badgertitle.net.
Back to Camp Randall Stadium here in Madison, Wisconsin. Steve Mapes alongside Jason Zaleski here in the Division 6 state championship game. Iola Scandinavia and Racine Lutheran. Iola Scandinavia was up 29-0 at halftime. Racine Lutheran on the first play of the second half went 53 yards through the air. And on the very next kickoff got an onside kick. And they are going to go for it on 4th and 13 from Iola's 32-yard line.
Yeah, and that play by Tenor there, just to keep things alive and keep going in a forward motion, allows their offense to stay on the field and go for this critical 4th down right here.
Shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the right side, has him, and that's going to be incomplete.
Yep, just threw it a little bit too far as the Jalen Houston came out here to the flat. And he was really his 4th option there on the play. He got a little bit excited. He thought Houston was going to run, and instead Houston was flat-footed, just kind of waiting for the pass on the spot, and those two miscommunicated. The pass sailed over his head by at least 10 feet, and turnover on downs, T-Bird's ball.
The rush was coming, but if he had an extra second, he had a receiver running the wheel route on the far side along the sideline in the sun, but it was still, he was open. If he would have had a couple of, maybe a second more of protection for Kraus. But Iola Scandinavia will take it over. 1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. 7:45 to go in the third quarter. Going to give it to Hittner on the near side. Has room. Past the 35 up to the 40-yard line. Fall forward for a gain of 8. And it's going to be 2nd and 2 from the 40 with 7:35 to go in the third.
Other sports going on right now that are of interest to people listening to us. How about this? UW Eau Claire Blue Gold women's volleyball team in the Final 8 in the national championship, and they are playing Babson right now. We'll keep you updated on that game. But the Eau Claire Blue Gold's just 3 games away from a national championship.
Nice. 2nd and 2, and going to hand it off to Carter Kirky now up to the 45, the 50. Has room, makes a player miss inside Racine Lutheran territory to the 42, 41-yard line. And another good gain for the Thunderbirds.
Hittner and Ambrosius leading the way. They were a good 10 yards down the field, pushing Crusaders out of the way and leading the path there. And without them, that play maybe doesn't happen, but with them, a big chunk of yards there, and really made possible by the Hittner-Ambrosius double block headed down the field.
19 more yards for Carter Kirky. Shotgun formation for Connor Kirky. He's going to hand it off to Bryce Hittner. Has it on the 40. He's going to come near side, trip over the 35-yard line marker, and fall forward to the 33, and another nice gain for Bryce Hittner.
Hittner and Houston were both doing battle there on that sprint to the outside. Hess got his hands on him. Hittner tried to cut back in, and like you said, tripped up right there and down, but an 8-yard gain and first down, you'll take that every time.
Yep. Pistol formation. Running back to the left is Carter Kirky, Bryce Hittner behind, and Hittner's going to keep it. Has room up to the 25. The 20 gets a block from Will Katie, and pass inside the 20 to the 18-yard line, and another first down for Bryce Hittner.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're not impressed with anything, you'll be impressed with this. The blocking, the whole team effort here by the T-Birds, everybody out here is playing their butts off right now, playing for the guy next to him. Everybody's doing their job, these lead blocks, and everybody's blocking. There are running backs, receivers, offensive linemen. Everybody's doing their job, and that, as a result, a 29-7 score up on the scoreboard.
Under 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter, Racine Lutheran in their first ever state championship game. Iola Scandinavia looking for their first gold ball in 4 tries. Carter Kirky has it to the left side, makes a guy miss, falls inside the 15 to the 13-yard line, a gain of 5, and it's going to be 2nd and 5.
Nice jump cut again there by Kirky on the far hash as he was making his way up the field. Jump back inside to get those extra couple yards. That jump cut turned a 2-yard gain into a 5-yard gain. Nice job of running there by Kirky.
2nd and 5, 5:20 now to go in the third quarter. Division 6 state championship game. Iola Scandinavia 29, Racine Lutheran Crusaders at 7. Going to hand it off up the middle, and it's going to be stopped at the 10. And that is
Hittner on the carry there again, and Solis with him every step of the way, but he was more partner dancing with Hittner rather than making any kind of a tackle attempt, as those two were just almost hand in hand as Solis walked Hittner forward for the 2-yard gain. It's 3rd and short upcoming.
3rd and a long 2 for Iola Scandinavia. 4:45 to go in the third quarter. They're marching down again, over 300 total yards now for the Thunderbirds. They're 6 of 9 on third down, 17 first down so far for the Thunderbirds. That one's going to be given up. No, that's going to be Alex Sharp again on that end around jet, late jet sweep. And it's going to be a 1st and goal for the Thunderbirds. Yeah,
Sharp lunging ahead and then running right at Noah Schaff, defensive back, sophomore Crusader. And those two tangled up there at the end, and then Sharp leaned into him and fell forward for what now will be a 1st and goal from about the 3-yard line.
7 for 10 on third downs as Iola Scandinavia with 18 first downs.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Pistol formation. They're going to pitch it out to Hittner. Has room on the outside. Stiff arm and a nice open field tackle there.
Yeah, that was number 4, Nolan Kraus again, making that tackle, tracking down Hittner, grabbing him right on the shin, right under his knee, and bringing him down. Hittner, normally, in other games he's played this year, scored in that kind of play.
Iola Scandinavia gets up to the line quickly. He's going to plow over and into the end zone. Touchdown, Iola Scandinavia.
Yeah, Hittner was hitting people that time on his way into the end zone. This time it was back to Noah Schaaf, lowered his right shoulder right into the chest of Schaaf. And so we'll watch here again on the replay, and actually ran his own guy over. At the same time, he ran over a Crusader and a T-Bird on his way into the end zone. A big-time power run there by Bryce Hittner.
Connor Kirky now in to attempt the PAT, 35-7 in favor of the Thunderbirds. It will be a hold by Alex Sharp to extend this lead for Iola Scandinavia.
Yeah, straight on kick attempt. Kirky stands straight back from the ball.
And the kick is through the uprights and good. It looks like they have put up the net now, especially on the south end zone. Nothing on the north end zone, but they don't want the ball flying in to the bleachers. So with 3:42 to go in quarter number 3, it is now Iola Scandinavia 36 and Racine Lutheran 7 in the Division 6 state championship game.
I mentioned Kirky taking that straight-on approach to kicking, and again, kicking in high school football is kind of a crapshoot. It just depends who you got sitting around that wants to play on the team that maybe can kick a field goal. You think of NFL kickers and the style they take, more of an angled approach, and then the instep of the foot swings through the football. Kirky here, more of an old-fashioned type approach. He just stands directly behind where the ball will be snapped, kicks it with the front of his shoe, and when you do that, if you make a connection right with the very front of your shoe, that ball will go straight. Most shoes, though, are curved these days on the top, and anything besides a dead-on kick, you are liable to hit that ball straight left and straight right, and that's why the good kickers and the NFL-style kickers kick the ball with the instep of their shoe. You get more of a target area, and as your shoe is curved to the inside like that, that perfectly shapes around the football and makes full and complete contact from one side of the football to the other as you swing through it. So that's the difference there. I had mentioned that volleyball game, Steve, that's going on over in Pittsburgh. UW-Eau Claire took the first set, so they're up 1-0 over Babson, and I can leave it to you guys to figure out where the heck Babson is. I'm not going to look that up today during the state football championship broadcast, and we'll let Steve call the kick return here before I go on.
A line drive taken by James Wilson makes a guy miss, and the Iowa special teams wraps him up at the 41-yard line.
So aside from it being cool that a Wisconsin team is playing for a D3 championship, and that's a good enough reason to stay tuned into these kind of things, we would do it if, Oshkosh or Platteville or Superior or somebody like that, we would still watch. But what makes us more unique is from Central Wisconsin, middle hitter, sophomore, Kendra Byrel, Marshfield Columbus Catholic grad, big-time hitter for these Blue Golds, and you can see a story online right now over at ZaleskySportsShow.com about Kendra and the rest of the Blue Golds.
Under center is Kraus, and it's going to go up the middle, and another fumble taken right out of the hands, and Iowa Scandinavia will take it on the turnover.
Yep, points correctly the right way does Kellen Wanke. And again, the captain, we've called Wanke's name here a couple times, 6'3", 270-pound senior, picks the ball up, points to the south end of the end zone, and says, "Our ball."
Yeah, took it right out of the hands of Jalen Houston and just fell on it. And it's going to be 1st and 10 for Iowa Scandinavia, up 36-7.
Tell you, it's a cool moment just to begin with to play in a state title game, but another cool moment to do that kind of play and then have the audacity just to point right down the field.
Back to pass is Connor Kirky, and a miscommunication between him and Will Cady.
Yeah, Cady was running a post route. Kirky threw a corner, and nobody found in either case. Actually, the defensive back had the best chance on it, but he was still a good 10 steps away from that ball. The ball thrown and landed harmlessly at around the 5-yard line and then bounced out of bounds.
3:23 to go in the third quarter. Iowa Scandinavia 36, Racine Lutheran 7.
And we've got a bird flying by, dive bombing the stadium here. He's not a T-bird, but a pretty cool bird anyway, flying around. Big bird, as well, I'll say that one is.
And Connor Kirky is going to keep it inside the 30 and get ripped down at around the 26-yard line. A gain of 11, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Thunderbirds.
So I take a look at that. I'm not a bird expert. I'll look at a bird every now and then, but that's a hawk of some sort, and that hawk is circling the northeast end, the student section end here of Camp Randall. When you see the students cheer on their Badgers here, that hawk is circling. Probably wondering why that side of the stadium is empty. Usually when he flies over here, it's jam-packed, and he's trying to figure out where did all the people go for this game.
Under 3 minutes to go. 95% of the field in shadows now. Bryce Hittner up the middle to the 25. Falls forward to the 16-yard line. The gain of 9. They'll put him at the 17.
And this is the point in the game here where Coach Erickson and the rest of the coaching staff are telling his T-Birds, we are going to impose our will on these Crusaders. We are going to end the game right now on this drive, and they are just banging up and down the field against the Crusaders as we're coming up on the 2-minute mark here in the third quarter, and a touchdown will put us in a running clock situation for the duration of the fourth quarter.
Iola Scandinavia again looking for their first ever state championship. They're 0-3 in their previous 3 appearances, and they were here last year, and Bryce Hittner is going to get swallowed up, a loss of maybe a yard, but they lost last year to St. Mary Springs, and this year they were on their revenge tour, and they have put up a lot of big numbers this season and putting up even more here this afternoon.
Well, we're going to see Springs play next, and the thing about them, in my personal humble opinion, I think Springs probably could compete at level 4, maybe even or Division 4, maybe even Division 3. So no slight against the T-Birds losing to a team like that.
Absolutely is. Hittner's going to take it on the far side, have room on the near side, and fall forward to the 14-yard line, and another first down, and another conversion on third down. Now 8 for 11 are the Thunderbirds, and that is their 20th first down of the game.
Yeah, it was a full-on sprint by Hittner as he started on the near hash mark. He sprinted all the way to the numbers on a slight angle towards the line of scrimmage. When he got to the numbers, he cut it right up the field and got the yardage needed +1 for the first down. And as soon as they spot the ball here, we will continue to roll towards the end of the third quarter.
First and 10 at the 14, 1 minute to go here in quarter number 3 of the Division 6 state championship game. Iola Scandinavia and Racine Lutheran. Shotgun formation. They're going to pitch it on the
ball on the ground
option, and another looks.
And it looks like it's going to be Lutheran ball here. I don't know. He came out of the pile with it, and it is.
Yeah, well, Scandinavia had opportunity to get that running clock, but a miscommunication and a missed pitch on the option, and Racine Lutheran will have the ball on the turnover.
Yeah, the pitch just came up short as Kirky there was running to his left. He was sprinting towards the far side of the field. The pitch came, and with his right hand, his opposite hand from where he was running, he couldn't reach back far enough to get the ball. So pitch was illy mistimed there, and it's a turnover. First turnover of the game for the T-Birds, and Crusaders now with a chance to make something happen here at the end of the game.
Back to passes Kraus. Rolls to his left, now rolls back to his right, has room, cuts back, has up to the 25, and going to be stopped there by Carter Kirky at the 29-yard line. Wow, they gave him
a lot of running around there.
Yeah.
It's a 9-yard. Well, they are going to give him 10 yards there. 10-yard gain. He probably ran about 30 yards to get it back and forth, left and right, up and down the field, making T-Birds miss one at a time until the middle of the field. T-Birds were able to converge and stop him, but like I said, not before a 10-yard gain and a first down.
First and 10 with 20 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Under center is Kraus with Jalen Houston and Tenner behind him. Tenner's going to get it and going to go nowhere with his.
He's still going.
Staying up, but then Iola swarms to the ball.
Yeah, finally there, big number 64, Wanke, said, all right, enough of this. Enough of this guy scatting and skipping around back here. I'm just going to come up here and tackle him, and that's exactly what happened.
And that will end it in the third quarter. After 3 quarters of play from Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, it is the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds 36, Racine Lutheran 7. We'll be back with the beginning of the fourth quarter after this.
Looking for reliable, high-speed internet? Look at Country Wireless. Country Wireless provides reliable, high-speed internet to rural central Wisconsin with unlimited data. No usage caps and speeds up to a blazing fast 7 meg. Want faster? Contact Country Wireless now to see if you qualify for 50 meg service and then take advantage of all the internet has to offer. Go to countrywireless.com to get on your way to high-speed internet. Introducing the new way to survive planning a party. Hire Gabrielle Linen Company to do all of the preparation, setup, shopping, decoration, and cleaning for you. Gabrielle Linen Company is a local party planning business with pricing options to fit any size budget. Call 715-630-4381 or go to GabrielleLinenCompany.com for more details. Gabrielle Linen Company for your next event.
We begin things fourth quarter. Iola Scandinavia looking for their first state championship in football, as they have a commanding 36-7 lead here to begin the fourth quarter. Don't forget to stick around for a post-game show, an opportunity to have our thoughts during the trophy presentation. And then we'll get you ready for the big Division 5 matchup. Stratford Tigers making their first trip to state in 10 years, going up against the St. Mary Springs Ledgers, who will look for another state championship under head coach Bob Highland.
Steve, I know that coaches and athletes alike, and when I was more active in athletics, certainly me, or you're the superstitious sort, right? You like a certain shirt, or you like a certain pair of shoes, or a pregame ritual. I don't mean to put anybody in any kind of superstitious jeopardy here, but this game is all the T-Birds to win. It's 36-7, nothing between them and a gold ball except for these 12 minutes on the clock. It should be a lock. It would be an epic meltdown if it doesn't happen.
Pistol formation. Kraus rolls out to his right looking for a receiver, and it's going to be caught by a Iola Scandinavia assistant coach on the sideline. Well out of bounds.
Well, and I'll tell you, and a good round of applause by the T-Bird faithful that are right down here in front of us. That catch was made, and they cheered as loud as they did for a Bryce Hittner touchdown. And give credit to them here for having a good time. Hey, listen, you come all the way down here to Camp Randall. You're going home with a trophy on either side. You may as well come down and have a good, especially if you're spectating. Nothing you can do about the results on the field anyway, so when your assistant coach catches a pass, let him know he did a good job.
Exactly right. 3rd and 11 now with 11:55 to go. Iola Scandinavia up 36-7. Back to passes. Kraus again looking for the receiver. It's going to be incomplete.
What
an effort by Josh Hess.
6 chances to catch that ball. The ball bounced off of his shoulder pad, his elbow, his left hand, his right hand. And then finally, after he's laying on the ground, thought all hope was lost, the ball bounces off his left elbow. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
That would have been some catch for the highlight reel, but as it is, it'll go down as an incomplete pass, and nobody will talk about it after I stop talking now.
And now Hess has to run all the way back and do the punting now for the Crusaders. So he will stand at his own 16-yard line as Bryce Hittner will be back to return for Iola Scandinavia. And he will punt it off, a big booming kick, and he'll roll to the 35-yard line. That is where Iola will take over with 11:35 to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, no reason, and Coach Erickson called that correctly, there's no reason to put a punt returner back there. There's 2 things that can happen back there. He can catch the ball or he could muff it. So a 50% chance of something going wrong. You put nobody back there, it does a couple things. 1, you can't lose possession. And 2, as that ball bounces, that clock keeps winding. And again, the clock completely on the side of the T-Birds here. And for Coach Erickson and his Iola Scandinavia bunch, the faster that clock goes down to 0, the faster they become state champions here in 2018.
11:35 to go. Iola Scandinavia out of the Central Wisconsin Large Conference. Winners of that conference for the first time since they've joined it. Bryce Hittner with it near side. He's going to bounce out and get wrapped down at around the 39-yard line. And it's going to be second down for Iola Scandinavia.
Standard issue. Handoff and run there. Again, nothing fancy going to happen for the rest of the game. All the fancy happened in the first quarter. As in all honesty and seriousness, the T-Birds pulled out all the stops in the first quarter, built up that big lead. Now it's just going to be standard handoff, run middle, handoff, run middle, and then punt if you have to. There's no real danger in getting to a fourth down for the T-Birds.
2nd and 6, under 11 minutes to go. They'll give it to Hittner on the far side, have room, and there's going to be a penalty. A couple penalties.
Yeah, there's going to be a holding out there, I think, on Sharp is what's going to be the call. And again, in this kind of situation, it's not a dire situation on that holding call. It does stop the clock temporarily. On the other side, though, you're going to repeat the down. You get to use more time off the clock. So not the end of the world on that holding call.
And that is the first penalty against the Thunderbirds here this afternoon. Marching back a couple of yards, but again, it'll be second and a little longer. Talked about Iola Scandinavia in that Central Wisconsin Large Conference. Last year, there were 2 teams from that conference here, Amherst and Iola Scandinavia. This year, in the Merriwood, there's Stratford and Edgar. And in this Metro Classic Conference, Racine St. Catharines and Racine Lutheran. So a couple of very good or very well represented conferences here this year, and that was going to be bounced out by Carter Kirky to the 30-yard line.
And along those same lines, Steve, well represented in Central Wisconsin as a whole. Edgar, Iola Scandinavia, Stratford. Stratford and Edgar are only about 8 miles away from each other, but Iola, Scandinavia, if you were to draw, say, a 60-mile radius of Central Wisconsin on that eastern edge of that, but still, here in middle Wisconsin, where we come from, good football being played right here.
Absolutely. It's going to be 3rd and 15, 10 minutes to go on the 30-yard line here in the fourth quarter. We're seeing Lutheran with a 53-yard touchdown pass to begin things in the third quarter. And going to be bounced out to Bryce Hittner. He's going to fall past the 35 to the 36-yard line. Gain of 6, and it's going to be 4th and 9.
Talked about big Alex Schultz here for Racine Lutheran, the 300-pound, 6'3" senior. Got a hand on Hittner that time. Haven't had the opportunity to call his name a lot. He's just not been able to get through that T-Bird offensive line, and when he has, the running backs, Hittner, Kirky, etc., just been able to run past him. So he's been a non-factor today just because of the way the T-Birds have designed their offense.
Iola Scandinavia was looking to go for it on 4th down, but they'll be back to punt. A little
rugby-style kick there.
A left-footed, and it's going to roll down and roll out of bounds at the 18-yard line, and that's where Racine Lutheran will have it with 9:06 to go in the fourth quarter.
Clear your calendars for December 9th and have an experience like no other. It's the Toys for Tots Piano Guys concert at the Performing Arts Center in Wisconsin Rapids. Join us at this fantastic benefit concert featuring the dueling piano talents of the new Piano Guys to benefit the community of Wisconsin Rapids and Toys for Tots Toy Drive. Go to Facebook now and search Toys for Tots Piano Guys Wisconsin Rapids. Tickets are available now for this fun event for a great cause. It's the Toys for Tots Piano Guys concert in Wisconsin Rapids on December 9th. Marshfield Family Restaurant on South Central Avenue in Marshfield is ready for their grand opening on November 20th. The new team at Marshfield Family Restaurant has a great menu and a new look at service as this iconic downtown Marshfield restaurant opens again. Marshfield Family Restaurant is also open on Thanksgiving for you and your family to enjoy a no-fuss, no-cleanup Thanksgiving dinner. Marshfield Family Restaurant with their grand opening on Tuesday, November 20th, located at 443 South Central Avenue.
Back to Camp Randall Stadium just after 3 o'clock here in southern Wisconsin. You're listening to Division 6 High School Football State Championship game. Steve Maves alongside Jason Zaleski on Tri-Media. Iola Scandinavia 36, Racine Lutheran 7 is, again, Iola Scandinavia on their way to their first ever football state championship. Racine Lutheran just making their first trip to Madison in school history as well.
Yeah, as we mentioned before, it was a unique path to get here, perhaps a path that nobody saw as they finished third in a tough conference, but they really upset the bracket as a 3 seed, beating a 1 and a 3 and then another 1, and then using Lancaster upset of the 1 seed to get here as 2 3 seeds battled in that level 4 game last week.
Rolling out to his right is Krause, and a nice catch there by Hess, and it's going to be run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. It's going to be second down for the Crusaders. The Crusaders are going to now they have been this second half put into a situation that they haven't been in a long time. They only had 723 passing yards on the year coming into this ballgame. High snap again. Tenor has it, bounces it up to the outside. Going to be pushed out of bounds by Carter Kirky at the 28-yard line, and it's going to be
first down. He got just enough there for the first down as both plays this time came to the near side towards the T-Bird bench. That first passing play was a sprint rollout to the right. Had two options, one about 3 yards down the field, one about 8 yards down the field. He took the 3-yard option, turned it into that 6-yard passing completion 2 plays ago. And then Tenor with a sprint to the right off of right tackle and got just enough for the first down and ran out of bounds to stop the clock.
97% of the field now filled up with shadows except for the sun coming through that was going to be incomplete. Nice pass attempt there on the post route, but Kraus got nailed in the backfield by a Thunderbird defender.
Sure did. Kagan Singh came through there and hit him just a half a tick after he delivered the ball, and part of the reason on the miss on the pass there was Singh all in his face. He knew he was going to get hit, delivered the ball, but just a little bit misdirected, really because of the hit put on by Singh.
2nd and 10, 8:51 to go, ball on the 28-yard line of Iola Scandinavia. Pistol formation, little weak snap back to Kraus, rolls out to his left. And it's going to be intercepted.
Yes, intercepted.
At the 33-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you, we've called his name a few times, and let me say it again. Ed Bonikowski, 5'11" junior, jumped up on the far boundary there, just about, I would say, about 3 feet inside the boundary, jumped up, tipped it to himself, and then brought it down for the interception. What a play by Bonikowski.
Another very, very athletic play by Bonikowski on the far side. Now Iola Scandinavia will have it with 8:43 to go on the 33-yard line. And they'll have it 1st and 10. We'll see what Coach Erickson wants to call on these next handful of plays. Bonikowski lines up as a receiver to the far side. Carter Kirky lines up to the right of his brother Connor. Bryce Hittner behind Connor here. They're going to pitch it out to Bryce near side. Get a nice block by Carter Kirky. He very patiently waits for his block by Will Cady and falls inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. And Bryce coming up a little gingerly as well.
Yeah, a little bit. He had Tim Nelson there on the tackle. Nelson kind of rolled up on the back of his leg there a little bit, right on his right side. It looks like he's kind of touching his hip there a little bit, as it may have just got overextended a touch, but no worse for the wear as Hittner heads back to the right side of his quarterback in the shotgun formation.
Alex Sharp, the slot receiver. Bonikowski, the wide receiver to the far side. And they're going to give it to Carter Kirky on the right side. Gets a nice block by Bryce Hittner. Jump cuts back to the 10-yard line, and it's going to be another first down, 1st and goal for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, we talked about the blocking downfield by the whole Thunderbird team, and again, Hartle, along with the rest of his guys there, leading the way and just creating these big holes for the T-Birds.
It's going to be 1st and goal for Iola Scandinavia. Again, we talked about their revenge tour this year. They lost only 3 seniors a year ago. This is one very experienced Iola Scandinavia football team, a good handful of juniors, very well-rounded veteran senior group as well. Bryce Hittner up the middle. He's going to get ripped down nicely by the Crusaders' defensive lineman.
Yeah, that might have been Nelson in there on the tackle again, but nice job just to kind of stay with it there as, the seconds continue to tick off the clock here. Again, I thought coming out of halftime, this was the T-Birds' game to win. They were firmly in control. Touchdown here, I would say, officially ends the game.
Yep. 7 minutes to go now. 36-7 in favor of Iola Scandinavia. Shotgun formation again goes Connor Kirky. He's going to hand it off to Bryce Hittner. Up the middle to the 5, to the 3. Touchdown, Iola Scandinavia.
And there you go, Steve. It is the 2018 Division VI champion, Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds. And I'll say that with 6:47 left on the clock, and I'll stand behind it the rest of the way.
Hugs all around after Bryce Hittner marches it in. Hugs from his offensive line, his teammates, and Iola Scandinavia with a 35-point lead. And Connor Kirky in to attempt the PAT to go up by 36.
Yeah, and again, more offensive linemen down there blocking, pushing their way through and leading the way for Hittner.
PAT is up and good. And with 6:47 to go in the fourth quarter is Iola Scandinavia 43 and Racine Lutheran 7. We'll be back with the kickoff after this.
A great career is waiting for you at Rail Transport. Don't have your CDL? How about get paid to get your CDL? It's even better than free truck driver training. Rail Transport will train you to get your CDL and pay you during the training. You'll be hired on day one, paid $500 weekly, and trained by the leader in the trucking industry. Experienced drivers start at 59 cents per mile. Start your career with a company that invests in you. Go to rail.jobs now and get your career started. Osterman Electric is your electrical contractor specializing in residential and commercial wiring. No job is too small, and any job is the right size for Osterman Electric. Safety, quality, and dependability is not the norm at Osterman. It's the only expectation. The team at Osterman is ready for your call now at 715-937-3706 or see them on Facebook. Osterman Electric is your electrical contractor specializing in residential and commercial wiring.
Welcome back to Camp Randall Stadium here on the campus of the University of Wisconsin in Madison. Iola Scandinavia with a 43-7 lead over the Racine Lutheran Crusaders. Iola Scandinavia on their way to their first ever state championship in high school football. They had previously been 0-3 coming in to this year at the state championship game. They are well on their way, rushing 378 yards of total offense, 274 on the ground, 104 through the air, 21 first downs. But the big number, they had a lot of third and shorts, but they are 8 of 12 on third downs here this afternoon, and just one penalty for 11 yards and that one turnover.
That's just what I was going to say, Steve. You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, not only are they beating Racine Lutheran in just about every statistical category, if not all of them, but they're playing a clean game. They're playing mistake-free and essentially penalty-free football here, and that goes along with the rest of those reasons you just mentioned and why they are at a 43-7 lead right now. And as soon as this kick goes, the clock will tick from 6:47 in real time all the way down. We are guaranteed a state champion winner here in the next 6 minutes and 47 seconds real time.
Will Katie back to punt, and now it's going to be taken at the 25 near side, up to the 30 to the 35, and that is where it will be down. And a tackle there.
Well, I'll tell you, when it rains, it pours, and everything's just going the right way. Now, how about we'll tell you about Cade Honkin, 5'9", 185-pound sophomore, lowering the thunderstick down there on that kick return. And when it's good, it's just good. And the T-Birds are having everybody chip in today, and everybody's having a good time down there. And it's easy to do when it's 43-7.
Carter Kirky making sure his young defenders know where to go and what to do out there right now. They lead 43-7 with 6 minutes to go. And we'll see what Coach Erickson has in store for the final salute to a player like Bryce Hittner, as Tenner has it up to the 45. Outraces Hittner. Hittner is drinking his jersey down and ends up with the tackle at the 45.
That was fun to watch. And Hittner, with his right hand, reached up and grabbed the back of Tenner's shirt and didn't let go. He just hung on, and here he's coming off the field, blonde hair flowing, he's head banging, he's got his hair flying all over the place, and he just hung on, and he spun Tenner around about 2 times and just was along for the fun ride and finally brought him down. It was a fun thing to watch.
Hittner having to come off the field due to his helmet coming off. Tenner has it now to the right side to the 40 and now the 45-yard line, or 35-yard line, excuse me. And that is where Racine Lutheran will continue their drive after a nice gain by Tenner.
I would think if Hittner could do it and do it in a tasteful way, he'd have his helmet come off again on this play because he was having fun running off the field. I mean, he was just swinging his hair left and right, blonde hair, bright as yellow could be, and he was just having fun coming off the field.
2nd and 2, they'll give it to Tenor again on the far side, and Hittner again right in there. It's a first down run, but with 4:30 to go.
Yeah, Bryce Hittner and Wanke in on the tackle, senior and senior, making memories for a lifetime down on the field at Camp Randall right now.
Yeah, we'll see what Coach Erickson does. See if he might bring out his seniors, maybe take a timeout at one point, maybe a minute left or so. They'll give it up the middle and fall forward. That is Jalen Houston. Jalen, just a junior as well at 5'9", 185.
Yeah, Will Cady gets his name called again. He records another tackle here today, and he's had another one of those T-Birds with a fine day on the field today.
Racine Lutheran, again, a very young team and a very fast and athletic team. They should be a fun team to watch a year from now. Tenor falls forward inside the 25 to the 22-yard line with 3:30 to go, or 3:40, excuse me, to go in the fourth quarter.
Steve, probably an appropriate time again to acknowledge Bryce Hittner's career. He's the all-time leading rusher in the state of Wisconsin history, and what an achievement, what a high school career that young man has had. You talked about the Crusaders and next year, and Tyler Tenor on a pace right now to perhaps break that record just next year, and that's happened here at Camp Randall before, as we had Badger runners breaking their own records, national running records. So fun times and a lot for the Crusaders to look forward to as they go into 2019.
Tenor inside the 10. It's going to be 1st and goal for Tyler Tenor.
Yeah, Hittner ran him out of bounds. Hittner again having a little bit of trouble with that with that hip, as he and Tenor are just kind of talking about things. They exchange a hug over on the sideline there, and Hittner perhaps telling him, "Hey, good luck, and I hope you break my record next year." Maybe.
Racine Lutheran takes a timeout with 2:40 to go in the fourth quarter, and they lead 43-7. Again,
go ahead.
Oh, again, before we sign off, or we'll have a post game after this, but again, we'd like to always thank all of our sponsors, every single one of them that helps us put these games on. We'll have Stratford and St. Mary Springs after this, but again, help us put on Division 7 game, Division 6 game, and the Division 5 game coming up. But again, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors all year long for everything that they've helped us do throughout the football season this fall.
To that end, to those of you that are listening, and I know there's a bunch of you out there, and there'll be a whole bunch more when Stratford comes on the field. But my ask of you is this: when you go to buy that thing next time, buy it from these sponsors. We talked about Osterman Electric, for example, right? You're going to need an electrician at some point. It's just going to happen, because I'm not touching electricity, and I recommend you don't either. But my man, Dave Osterman out there, he's ready to go, and you're going to need an electrician. He and his company decided that they cared about high school sports enough to come and sponsor it and let you listen for free. So you're going to need to pay for an electrician. So hire Osterman Electric. That's the whole game here, because you hire Dave and the rest of the gang there. We get to bring you more free sports, and everybody wins in that way. So thanks again, Steve, for bringing that up. And that's really the way that it works. We got here's your timeout you were looking for, Steve, with T-Birds.
Yeah, Iola Scandinavia will take their timeout. Hugs all around for the seniors of Iola Scandinavia High School. Bryce Hittner, the biggest hug of all, and he'll take his helmet off, give a salute to to the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbird fans, all the youngsters going out there to finish things off. Again, Bryce Hittner, well over 6,800 yards in a high school career, finishing today with 32 rushes, 156 yards, 156 more yards onto his already Wisconsin high school football rushing record. Bryce Hittner will go down as one of the best high school rushers in the state of Wisconsin history. Right now, he is, yard-wise, the best one.
And Hittner he's having a fun time down here on the sideline. He's soaking it all in. He's standing down here. He's taking a look at the scoreboard. He's watching some of the highlights and some of the other things that have happened here as we see the Crusaders sneak in for a touchdown here late in the game, but not going to matter as Hittner, again, more hugs being exchanged. He and Connor Kirky celebrating each other down there on the sideline. And Hittner and the rest of the T-Birds, again, just soaking this all in. They're taking this moment, and that's why Coach Erickson took that time out so he can have the seniors come over here, acknowledge the crowd, and just take a look around Camp Randall. And they're sitting inside of Camp Randall Stadium here where the big boys play, and they came in here, and they won a state championship, and that is alone enough just to kind of take a moment, take a breath, and realize what you just did. And that's what Coach Erickson is allowing his seniors and the rest of the team down here to do, is just to take a moment and enjoy it and really feel it and taste it. And soon they're going to be able to feel that gold ball coming out here at some point, and they're going to put on top of their shoulders as state champions.
And Iola Scandinavia will, again, hoist it for the very first time in school history. That gold ball, they have 3 silver balls at the Iola High School near the Thunderdome or inside the high school at Iola Scandinavia. They will be able to finally put one of those gold balls right next to the 3 silvers that they have. Scott Erickson, 26th year again, will be able to finally hoist up that gold ball here in Madison. Bryce Hittner out there just to be a part of the hands team for Iola, up 43-14 here late in quarter number 4. Tyler Tenner was the running back that scored for the Crusaders. And with 2:46 to go, Iola Scandinavia leads 43-19. A high onside kick, and it's going to be out of bounds. It was touched by Iola Scandinavia, so there will be no penalty, but it will be Thunderbird's ball.
Gavin McClellan got his hands on it there at the end, and his shoulders were square to the boundary, and as he went to catch the ball, it rolled off his hands and then harmlessly out of bounds. He even may have been better served just to kind of bat the ball out of bounds, as it is out of bounds, and here we are with a couple of kneel downs as the clock continues to roll here, near 2 minutes left in the game.
2:10 to go, and again, hugs all around on the sideline here on the west side of Camp Randall Stadium with all the Thunderbird seniors and coaches alike. It's going to be handed off near side up the middle and falling forward to around the 40-yard line. And now taking out some of the senior linemen as well.
Yeah, more rounds of applause and well-deserved accomplishment and thank you from the T-Birds fans that are here. A couple of them are down there doing the, I know the name of this dance that they're doing here. I just can't think of it. The floss. They're flossing down here and having a good time.
Yeah, making the trip for the second straight year are the Thunderbird faithful, and they are going to be rewarded with a gold ball with 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. Here from Camp Randall Stadium, Iola Scandinavia will be your 2018 Division VI state champions. 2 games down here shortly in the 2018 state championship games. A couple days of games. Now 50 seconds to go. Iola Scandinavia will finish the year at 14-0. Again, marching right through the Central Wisconsin Large Conference. And on that revenge tour, they destroyed a lot of the teams that they've played. And there's a fumble on the ground taken away. And it's going to be picked up by James Wilson, and a stiff arm. He's going to have it. And another fumble. It's going to be taken.
Yeah,
Iola.
Voss is on the pile, and it's Thunderbird ball.
So a fumble taken by Wilson, and then another fumble taken by Iola Scandinavia.
Yeah, and our time is going to go to 0 here on all that interaction, and we'll let Steve here tell you about the state champs. But give Wilson some credit down there. He was trying to make something happen. He wanted to score a touchdown in the state championship game. He just took a little bit too long, gave a little bit too much effort trying to do it.
And for the first time in school history, the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds are state champions in football. A 43-14 win over the Racine Lutheran Crusaders. They will finish the year at 14-0. Racine Lutheran falls to 11-3. Bryce Hittner with 156 more yards on the ground to add to his already state record of rushing in the state of Wisconsin. Again, 43-14, Iola Scandinavia. They are your 2018 Division VI state champions. A lot of hugs all around and a lot of celebration going on in Iola Scandinavia this afternoon and into this evening. Again, congratulations to the Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds, who are your state champions. Congratulations to the Racine Lutheran Crusaders, who made their first ever state appearance, and they will be taking home the silver ball. We will step aside for a second, come back, and wrap this one up with the final stats and summaries from Camp Randall Stadium.
Scotty's Pizza and Chicken in Marshfield is today's pizza delivery choice for you. Scotty's is the world-famous home of the bacon, broccoli, and cheese pizza, along with other specialty pizzas to choose from. Chicken, sandwiches, salads, and a kids menu make Scotty's Pizza the easy choice for the entire family. November is Hawaiian Chicken Month, and that means 20% off. See the menu online at scottyspizza.com or call 715-384-8118. Scotty's Pizza and Chicken. A small update here from Camp Randall, as highlights are now available over at Zaleski Sports Show on Facebook of our Division VII state championship game between the Blackhawk Warriors and the Edgar Wildcats. You can check out those highlights now. Share them with your friends. And you can visualize everything we talked about in that Division VII final. Highlights of this Division VI championship game will be available shortly at the same place over on Facebook on Zaleski Sports Show, as Sean Cordy will come up here to the press box and put together a fine package of highlights and show you everything that you heard about during the game, and then make sure to share that with your friends and enjoy T-Birds over the Crusaders here in the Division VI state championship game. And now we'll move on to our post-game show, brought to you by Hiller's True Value in Marshfield. Hiller's True Value is your Milwaukee Tool headquarters. Hiller's will not be undersold. $100 off your next Milwaukee Tool purchase. No trade-ins needed. Hiller's True Value, your Milwaukee Tool headquarters, located on South Central Avenue in Marshfield.
Yes, they're awarding the silver ball right now to the Crusaders of Racine Lutheran, their first ever trophy in football, and Iola Scandinavia lining up near side to receive their gold ball. But just going through some final stats, we'll go through the ones for the runners-up, the Racine Lutheran Crusaders. Colton Krause, 4 of 12, 1 interception, 74 yards, and a touchdown rushing. Tyler Tenner, 26 rushes, 126 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Houston, 7 rushes, 50 yards. Colton Krause, 2 rushes, 14 yards. Josh Hess, 1 rush for 1 yard. For the victorious Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds, Connor Kirky, 6 of 9, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns through the air. Bryce Hittner, 32 rushes, 156 yards, and 3 more touchdowns for the senior running back of the Thunderbirds. Connor Kirky, 10 rushes, 49 yards. Carter Kirky, 8 rushes, 44 yards. Alex Sharp, 3 rushes, 25 yards. And Cole Erdman, 3 rushes for 8 yards, as the seniors for Iola Scandinavia go out and receive the team medals and will very soon receive the team gold ball that will be awarded to head coach Scott Erickson. Iola Scandinavia, Racine Lutheran, 21 first downs on the afternoon. 191 rushing yards, 74 passing yards for a total offense of 265 yards. 3 penalties of 35 yards, 3 turnovers for Racine Lutheran. Iola Scandinavia, 21 first downs, 282 rushing yards, 104 passing yards, 386 total, 1 penalty for 11 yards and 2 turnovers. The game took 2 hours and 30 minutes. Iola Scandinavia, again, 43-14 winners over the Racine Lutheran Crusaders in the Division VI state championship game.
Yeah, and it was a fun game to watch. Again, highlights coming here momentarily as we see Kevin Bargender and Sean Cordy down on the field right now with our state champion Iola Scandinavia Thunderbirds. Getting some pictures and some video for you, and in a moment the T-Birds are going to head down to the north end of the end zone for media time as they will get a full load of Mr. Bargender and Mr. Cordy and a few others down there that we see. Local media made the trip down to watch the affairs here, and again, highlights coming soon over at Zaleski Sports Show on Facebook of this game. But it was a fun game, Steve. 43-14. Certainly a big win, and again, one that all the members of this team will remember. Memories for a lifetime. And those seniors, Hittner and others, get to go out on top. And what a way for Bryce Hittner to end his high school career. He takes the all-time rushing record here in the state of Wisconsin and then takes the gold ball along top of it. Probably couldn't ask for much more than that out of a high school football player.
Well, absolutely, especially last year after the disappointment of losing to St. Mary Springs. They had them in the first half. Springs came out in the second half and put together one heck of a run, obviously, to knock off Iola Scandinavia. For the Thunderbirds to have that whole offseason to get ready for a trip and have that journey to get down here and be able to knock off the teams that they did, hold off Grantsburg last week, and then come down here and take care of a Racine Lutheran team that made their own special run down here as well. Congratulations again to Iola Scandinavia for a Division VI state championship, their first in the program history.
Yep, definitely a big achievement, and they're going to head up now in the bleachers and get their team photo. It's kind of interesting, when you look at these things. You got Racine Lutheran, who had a great season, made a nice run. I don't say a magical run, but they had a really good run to get here. And they take home that big trophy, and they're kind of sauntering a little bit somber off the field. And then you got the other team here who's galloping and sprinting and skipping and doing handstands and cartwheels to get into the picture. And it's quite a transition of events as one team heads off and one team heads on. But I know a lot of respect here on the football field for both of those guys. And again, we saw Hittner and Tenor take a hug there at the end of it, and I'm sure Hittner wished him well in his career next year and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, a lot of good stuff happening out here. Again, you're listening to the Hiller's True Value postgame show. Hiller's True Value in Marshfield is your Milwaukee Tool headquarters. Get $100 off your next Milwaukee Tool purchase. No trade-ins needed. Hiller's will not be undersold. Hiller's, your Milwaukee Tool headquarters in Marshfield on South Central Avenue. So as we look at the clock here, we've got 25 minutes before our Division V state final. Stratford Tigers and St. Mary Springs will go at it, the Ledgers and the Tigers. And it's kind of one of those matchups we've been kind of waiting for. We think it's going to be kind of a collision of opposites. We're going to have a defensive team, a running team in the Stratford Tigers, and then a fast-paced throwing team, Cade Christensen, one of the finest athletes in the state of Wisconsin, out here on the field. And we think it's going to be a real good one, and we'll bring that one to you here in just about 25 minutes. We're going to sign off for now. So for Steve Maves, Sean Cordy, and Kevin Bargender, again, highlights coming up soon of this game. Jason Zaleski with the Zaleski Sports Show. We'll be back in about 25 minutes for Stratford, St. Mary Springs. We'll talk to you then.